We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
This guy, Cosmo Mom 09.
Lazy Gardner.
And Bridget, you can find me at youtube.com/@punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. And Rachel definitely jumped when you said "we."
I could not see her at the time because
all I saw was like for a split second.
The title sequence was still on the screen, and so I couldn't see her.
It was pretty funny.
Lucy made a noise, and so I was looking at her, waiting for another sneeze, and then I had you in my ear, and it startled me.
Yeah, so many distractions. Speaking of distractions, if you hadn't noticed just now, in case you're here on the replay, or in case you're here live, say hi. I'll say I from here on in. I devised a new title sequence. I revamped our TWD title sequence so that it's more inclusive of the Walking Dead universe. It features some of our art designs, let's say, from seasons past, discussing Fear the Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead World Beyond, The Walking Dead The Ones Who Live, The Walking Dead Dead City, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. It's all in the title sequence, and Rob Lucchese's here. Hey, I'm squawking over here. Well, he doesn't say
Hey,
over,
Rob.
but I said here. And so, yeah, I hope you like that title sequence. Rob, if you just rewind a little bit, you could check that out. If you did catch it, let me know what you thought about it. And I would like to know from you on Spotify and YouTube and Facebook, probably, how much you liked it. If you didn't like it, you said it's lame, maybe you should do this instead. I'd like to hear that too. And you could do that always on our Spotify comments and YouTube channel, on our YouTube comments. But you can also go to ratethispodcast.com/walkingdead and leave us a rating. It always helps. And we read your ratings on social media. Well, we write them and we screen cap them and we love them. And we'll say something about them if they're really outrageous on the next episode, whenever that may be. You know. As far as housekeeping goes, I will bring up something during the episode that relates to this episode. So we'll get there. We'll get there. And I don't know about any other housekeeping. Guys, you gays? Anybody have anything to say? Well,
I got nothing.
If there's nothing to say, I guess...
Well, we could say one thing, Dave.
Sure.
We could say one thing. Last week, Dave and I did a guest spot on another podcast, and so we should probably mention that.
Yeah, we did.
It was at...
We did just beforehand.
The butt crack of dusk is what I call it when it's super late. And that's from my YouTube lives because things happen late at night sometimes. And it's too late for me. MCU, The Bleeding Edge.
the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
Bleeding Edge, yeah. Podcast. We were on it. So, go look at that or whatever.
Yeah, and if you happen to have caught it, I'd like to really much know what you thought of it, because I think... Oh, Rachel, you can't say anything when you're on mute. You know better than that.
I know, but the blower's on. I'm making fun of you because you said I really much.
Really much.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong?
I really much.
What's wrong? Am I speaking English not good? Yeah, I really did like being there, and I have to say, it's really nice. I really much like to not be in the host seat for once, which allowed Bridget and I to go a little ham and be a little bit ridiculous. I think it warranted it, and it was the kind of show where, let's just put it this way, you know why we became a podcast to begin with? Well, that, and then it allowed us to kind of be just... we could just be ourselves and just lean into the nuttiness and say crazy, dumb things and stupid things.
I did laugh a lot.
Yeah, we did laugh a lot.
I will say,
I bet
did laugh a lot.
they got a lot of comments about the laughing also from Blue Cat 462.
I don't think so.
Well, we all know how much everyone hates laughter, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard it's a problem.
Yeah, apparently it's a problem. Anyway, you did see it. Okay, you saw the title sequence, Rob. Okay, cool.
Yes,
Thank you.
you did.
I appreciate that. You should check out the last one, see the differences. Now grade me on my work. I appreciate that too.
Just tell him he did good.
Just tell him he did good. He'll go away. All right, let's move on to something else, which is the title of this episode. And This one was a doozy. I'm going to just ask you, Rachel, do you know what the title of this episode is called? Don't look it up off the top of your
Yes.
damn head.
Yes, I do.
She
I
watched
made
it
sure-
twice.
I did. I made sure and looked at the title.
Well, what
And
is it?
It was quite triggering for me. It is. I might get it a little bit mixed up. I think it was bridge partners are hard to come by
These
or
days.
hard to find.
Good enough. Good enough.
Okay.
Hard to come
I
by
got
these
the-
days.
I get the meat of it. It was very triggering for me because in my little town here, we currently have bridge partners, and they repaired two of our 4 bridges, and are now charging a toll to go over those bridges.
Because they fixed them.
Yes.
That's progress,
So-
people. Winners and losers.
Well, we knew the toll was coming, but they lied about. They lied to us, and it's not a good thing.
How
Not a good
apt.
deal.
How apt for
Yep.
this episode. I'll
Yes.
say, how about this? In terms of this, I'm sorry you're triggered, first of all. I want to say that. I'm sorry. I almost glossed over it. Because it is, we know, New York City knows all about bridges and tunnels and tolls. Oh
Sure.
my.
Sure.
And they are, if I told you the price of one of our tunnels, the least expensive one, you'd be like, how do people do it here? And
Well, do they have the option of like a monthly or yearly pass that they can purchase?
well, yeah, as part of, sorry about that. as part
Turn
of,
your phones off, everybody.
well, I barely had time to go. Just to give everybody context, I barely had enough time to really get notes, and I just slid in at the skin of my teeth. It actually happens to be Evelyn, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we are getting dinner at Castillo Plant. Okay, fine. So I guess I'm fending for myself now. Okay.
So passes.
Castello Plan. So, Pat. Oh yeah. So you can sign up for Easy Pass, and I have to say, Easy Pass has partnerships with all the other passes in most states.
Yeah,
Like
we have
the-
Easy Pass.
Like the Georgia Peach. It's hard to say. Georgia Peach Pass.
Yeah.
And all the ones going down through DC and yeah, all that. So
right.
it's
We got the NC Easy Pass.
exactly. Yeah, there's a partnership there. And
Okay,
yeah,
so-
if you
so
get
people
it,
can pay a monthly or yearly fee, and
Yeah.
then they're able to use.
because you can't pay at the tolls anymore.
yeah,
Right.
they'll
All
mail it in.
electronic.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
they're
when
just
I
gonna
was
mail me things and
when
yell
I
at
was
me.
driving back down from Michigan, I came through West Virginia, and you have to go through tolls there.
Cashless.
And I could have routed myself around them if I wanted to, and I did want to, but I'd also been driving for like 19 hours and really just wanted to get home. So but they only take cash, and I did not have any cash.
Oh.
So I had to go through and get a slip of paper saying that I went through the toll, and then I had to come home, go online,
and mail it.
and pay the toll.
Pay it.
Oh, you could pay it at
There.
least online.
I
Okay.
could pay it online,
Yeah.
but I mean I could have avoided all that if they would taken cards at the toll, but they didn't. So I didn't have any cash on me. So
No.
and they were $12 each. I think I went through 3 of them
Wow.
just in one little section of West Virginia.
wow.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, going
Hi,
back.
Tess.
Sorry.
I said
Hi,
hi, Tess.
Oh, hi Tess. Nice sneaking it in.
Hi, Tess.
And Rob says, you might as well say it. She says, "Look at those beautiful faces, by the way." Appreciate it.
That's why I always just took the train from Secaucus to Penn. $8 round trip.
$8
train
round.
ride.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You bring.
What do you? Why did I say it like that? I don't know.
No, I mean, where's that from? Where's that quote from? Oh,
The
it's from Rob.
comment.
Oh my god.
Rob said.
Did you just have a stroke?
I'm
He's
sorry.
like,
Poor
"Read Rob's
Dave.
comment."
Just-
And then
just
you
so
see
you
it,
know,
he's like, where did that come from?
I was trying to move the 2X06 while you were saying that, and you just said it, and you didn't say who it was from, so I just, yeah.
It was a continuation of Secaucus to Penn. I don't know why I said it like that. I just wanted to.
It's accurate because, yeah, Secaucus, New Jersey to Penn Station, the train, yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
$8 round trip train ride, which, I'll just say,
Tess says some have
Not
tolls
bad.
and some will mail you the tolls, but I miss seeing the prices. It's nuts. And did you run into the unmanned tolls that you had to put in coins for?
it's been so
No,
long.
we
20
used to have
years.
those. I remember we had a couple of those in Jacksonville when I was a kid, and like it was my favorite thing when I was little, I was a kid, and my mom would give me the change. It was like 35 cents, and I got to throw it in the basket, and that was like the highlight anytime we drove on that side of
I
town.
remember
Same.
I got to throw the money in the
those were
toll.
fun. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Especially going to like a theme park or like a water park. It's like and it's a shorter drive, but still you go through a couple.
It was on
of
the way
these.
to the zoo. Yeah, it was on the way to the zoo.
There
That
you
was
go.
where we went when we go to the zoo.
I
Same
hate
energy.
tolls.
It's not there anymore. It's gone now. They have removed all of the tolls
Oh yeah,
in
that's
Jacksonville.
all gone. Yeah.
I hate tolls from being a kid, actually. You guys have all these nice memories of doing the toll. Do you know how stressful it was? My mother was like yelling at us in the back, like, get the money, it's a $2. And you're like, oh,
Your mom had a New York accent. Get the money, it's $2.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
She has her hand up, ready to strike. Right.
It
Oh,
was
corporal
so
punishment.
rough. It was so rough. There was like a little Ziploc bag full of change, and we're like frantically trying to find the money.
Say, hey, you know, the Bruegel wasn't wrong about progress, at least on that level.
Yes,
Some
true.
things are okay. The little screens, they get a little smaller, so we just got bored.
He is so right.
I have a take on the title.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, Rachel, I don't know. You said the title was triggering.
Because of the
Yeah.
bridges.
Okay,
Because of the bridges.
but we didn't get to, because Rachel's time is limited just for everybody else. We have to keep that in mind. Hold that thought, Sharon D. As far as the
Okay.
title goes, besides the triggering, how do you think that title relates to the episode?
Well, I suppose they could mean a literal bridge, but I took it more as a metaphorical bridge, right, between groups. And bridge partners are hard to come by or find, or however it was, because everyone's liars. Everybody lies. You can't trust anybody, so you can't. There are no bridge partners in this world.
You're
They're
all
liars.
solo. Yeah. Okay. We'll get into specifics, I guess, as we go. Sharon D, what do you got?
So, part of the theme of this whole series is not going back to the past. And what is more of the past than people who play bridge?
Mm.
You want to talk about, we don't want to go back to the old ways. Who in this day and time of the apocalypse has the time or the wherewithal to learn how to play bridge, much less find 3 other like-minded people who also want to play bridge with you?
Yeah.
It's a thing of the past. It is a thing of the past, and that is what Bruegel is acknowledging, is this kind of thing, it doesn't belong here anymore. We're the last of a dying breed. Do we really want to go back?
That's it.
The whole thing of this show is, do we want to go back? Why do we want to go back? Just so we can play bridge? That's not enough of a reason.
Let's go
I've
first.
never played bridge before, but it seemed like it was a lot like euchre.
I think
I've never
they're
played
similar.
bridge or euchre, so
I love euchre. I will tear you up in euchre, but I've never played bridge. But the way
You've never been more Midwestern.
I will
And it
tear
is
you up in euchre.
I will tear you up in euchre.
Euchre, let me tell you. Let me tell
I
you.
will drop it so hard. No. But the way he was explaining it, watching him play it, I'm like, that's not bridge, that's euchre.
Maybe they're similar.
She says with an old fashioned in her hand.
It's like rattling around too. And she's like, her
want it
head's
with-
bobbing.
I want it with Corbel brandy, nothing else.
Drinking my Fago.
Now she's a juggalo.
She's a juggalo now.
Fago's Michigan.
Yeah, well, so is what is it, Insane Clown Posse? Aren't they from the Midwest? Forget it. Isn't that? Yeah.
ICP, yes.
Yeah.
Like the insane clowns. Yes, David.
Well, I have to be formal about it. I honor them with their full name. Anyway. No, I wanted to insert something here.
Okay,
for some
wait.
reason. Oh, wait.
So wait a minute.
Can you dig into that a little bit?
Euchre-
Oh, okay, fine. Go
Wait a
ahead.
minute. Euchre is a simpler, faster-paced 4-player trick-taking game with a smaller deck than Bridge, while Bridge is a more complex, strategic game with more intricate bidding and scoring.
Oh, so what does that say about what's happening? Ooh.
So euchre's for dummies. That's what I heard.
Well, no, if like it's like kind of like
Maybe.
if you throw in like Monopoly rules to make the game go a lot faster, it's same energy. Euchre's that. instead of playing bridge for like hours on end, like your grandma.
Mm.
Well, the
Euchre.
people in this world who would be bridge players are all dying or dead.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Oh. Oh, on the show too.
Brugel's the last of a
Dying breed.
dying breed. Who wants to play bridge in this time in space,
I feel like Bruegel's even kind of young for bridge.
Wait,
right?
so
Like, he clearly played with his grandma.
hold
No,
on a second.
Warren Buffett taught him.
Oh, that's
Warren
true. He did say
Buffett.
Yeah.
Warren
That's right.
Buffett.
I am curious though. Him saying that should imply something. Because, okay, look at Armstrong and Bruegel. Armstrong, we know why Armstrong's doing this. He's thinking about his family and the world he wants them to live in. Well, then what is Bruegel?
Ruger's
Is
bagels.
Bruegel... Wow, I'm Rachel again. Wow, it's crazy. What is Bruegel thinking? Is it what he's saying that I was just bored and I just want to FS up? FS up?
To some degree, I think.
She got it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Rachel was a little confused.
Uh,
Think Mercer on The Walking Dead. Yeah, that's...
yeah. So I never thought I would be transported back to my time as a child of a country club worker more than I have been in the last couple weeks. But my mother worked at a country club for many years when I was a kid, several different country clubs actually. And bridge was a big deal. And I talked about how like it was that old money versus new money thing. And this just solidified the theory that Bruegel is new money. Really, to me.
Keep
Like
going.
the fact that he was talking about this fast-paced living, that he's like hanging out with Warren Buffett, like this is all like recently successful, like I made it big, maybe in the tech world kind of mentality and lifestyle. And so it just solidifies for me that he is new money. He has like that appreciation for the arts, but it's more like he has the appreciation for the things he thinks that he should appreciate. That makes sense. It's like a distorted view of what the rich look like, because it would be the generalizations that like that for instance I have, where I'm like, yeah, rich people, they eat caviar on everything. No, they don't. But like in my head, they do. If I could afford caviar, I literally would eat it on everything. But
Oh, so I
I
get
love
it.
it.
It makes
I
sense.
love it. I have champagne taste and a beer wallet, but
Some fishberry jam.
I love
Ugh.
it. It's so good.
It's pretty good.
So good.
There's a contingent that half likes it and half don't. Right?
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Love
have tried it. I do not care for it.
I do like
I
it.
love it.
But selectively. It's not something you can have all the time, I don't think.
Oh, I would if I could.
It's like
If I
having
could
too much
have-
smoked salmon. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like
also
yeah,
love that.
I love it too, but it's like, can I have it with every meal?
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know, Dave. I can't afford it. I've never tried. How would I know?
it's kind of You know what? Let's keep going. Well, so then what does that say about Bruegel? So is it that he just wants to FS up? Or is it more like, I'm bored, right? I'm bored and that's what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to FS up? I just can't want to keep saying FS up.
Well,
Just considering your analysis is what I'm saying.
okay, I took the boredom portion to mean more about the pre-apocalypse situation.
Okay.
There's less to be bored about later. You are worried about
maybe
living.
I'm just touching on the boredom thing. Like, maybe he's bored because he doesn't have anyone who can match his intelligence or his way of thinking, right? If that would make you very lonely, if there's no one around. I'm
Sure.
talking about his men who surround him, right?
Yeah.
None
sure.
of them seem to be super into art or have any kind. At least the Dama, she had the Croat who had some sensibilities and some intelligence, whereas I feel like Bruegel's is kind of just surrounded by dorks. Like they're just drones. They're just drones, worker bees.
The
Yeah, but
Croat is the queen
I-
bee.
I would argue that it's pseudo intelligence, though. It's not even necessarily 100% real, because you'll notice he brings up the George Washington thing again. Like he's like a one trick pony. Like he's only got his one thing that he knows about, and I'm
Right.
guessing it's only about the art that's in that museum, because that's what he's been able to read up on and see in front of him. And so that's what he has like depth of knowledge about. But I don't think that anything else is true. And for all I know, this story about Warren Buffett isn't even real. And this is all just a tale that he spins to make himself feel better about his previous life. But for me, the boredom portion of it was it was in reference to the old way of living. We got to the point where things weren't hard anymore. You weren't fighting each day for survival. This is like the whole draw of the Walking Dead universe, right? Is like,
Wasn't it mocking the people who love the Walking Dead universe in a way?
I mean, it was saying like,
We got
well,
bored.
it's
We
saying
wanted
like,
it to
oh, yeah,
happen.
you wanted it to happen because you were so bored because you had nothing better to do. However, push comes to shove, I don't want to live in a world where walking skin sacks are all over the place trying to eat me.
Great new
But
word. Right, Rachel? She wrote it in her book.
yeah.
I'm sure.
But I think it's in reference to that. Like, it's us. It's us. When you're thinking about, I don't want to go to work every day. Like, he says that. Like, I don't want to go to work every day. I don't want to do any of this stuff anymore. I want something with more bite. And then do we as a society become more dangerous as a result?
Undoubtedly. So I get it. Well, and then I guess then he's a remnant that just can't. He's like, okay. A lot like what I said about the Reapers is that they just kind of wafted into the apocalypse like specters. They're still the same. They just continue the mission that they were assigned before the apocalypse and continue doing what they do, and they're unstoppable. And so basically Bruegel is a force of nature. He's an anachronism. He's just playing the same game he played before the apocalypse.
Maybe
because that's
might be he's giving me con man vibes. So I'm getting kind of this like Victor Strand vibe from him, but like in a cheesier way. Do you know Victor was like a really suave con man. He knew what he was doing.
He had
been
riz.
at the game for a while. Like he had riz, undoubtedly. I hate that I said that.
Bruegel's, he dresses like an old timey flim flam man, like the guy who would be selling you snake oil medicine off the back of a wagon.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm down. Well, hey, let's read the chat a bit because I just saw the Frumily, which whom I've interacted with a lot, and I have to ask one question, the Frumily, because hi, and first of all, and second of all, I don't even know your name. I have been struggling to get the courage to ask your name on Twitter, on X, I should say. And when you get the chance, let us know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read. Tess said, there are some of these unmanned tolls still in West Virginia. It's like one, they're close together, completely honor system tolls. It's nostalgia. And then
I get that.
Tess also says you would kill at bridge then, Rachel, because of your mad euchre skills.
But do you have the patience? That's the question. She says yes. Okay.
And Tess also said it throws me because parts of the past always have carryovers, which is true. 100%, which is what the argument we've been making this entire season. Fromily says, I would never, I'm guessing in
caviar.
Reference to the caviar. And Rob says, better on a bagel with cream cheese in regards to the Nova Locks, my friend.
Oh, we don't say,
I know.
We say Locks, okay? Just, well, calm down. It's like the Insane Clown Posse.
Okay.
Calm down. Nova, please. Locks. Thank you.
I've eaten a lot of it, Dave. I know what it's called.
Wait.
I've heard it both
You're
ways.
missing one thing. Rob, with a schmear? It's just a way.
I didn't say that, but sure.
A schmear is the biggest dollop, and you just smear it once.
I know, Dave.
No, for the.
Oh, I was like, Dave.
There's a
like I've
whole
never seen
audience that doesn't
Seinfeld
know what
or
a
something?
schmear is.
I just assume you're always correcting me.
Oh yeah, it's true. Also,
Yeah, that's true.
I love doing it.
He does like it. He does enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. Yeah, it's an opportunity. Got to take it. It's like Bruegel. It's an opportunity. Yeah, I'm bored. Let's do it. So he's just playing the same game he's always been playing, and there's no stopping it because what else is there to do than manipulate the situation to work in your favor? Which, hey, good strategy, but also kind of annoying for our people.
I mean, I like him. Big fan, honestly.
Say it like Kim Coates / Bruegel. I like what you're doing, big fan. Anyway.
Tap it.
Oh my God. There should be a musical episode of
Suddenly
Dead
we're
City.
Nathan Lane for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's more of like a nasal higher pitch. a tenor, if you will. Yeah. Rachel's rolling her eyes and sighing. You have to give the play-by-play. All right, so anybody else on Bridge Partners are always hard to come by these days? Before we continue. No. Rachel, let's go here then. Well, I'm just moving swiftly. It's like the Wii thing all over again. Wii!
I know, she jumps every time. She's terrified of this
Of this
podcast
me.
right
She's terrified of me. Where do you want to go next? Because there's some really cool key pieces of this episode to hone in on. I've never written more notes, first of all, on an episode where there's not, I don't know, maybe terribly much to talk about.
Agreed. Not a super ton to talk about, but we say that every time, and then we end up talking forever and ever and ever and ever.
She's blaming me. It's fine.
Am I muted?
No, you're good.
Oh,
I'm just play-by-playing a little bit.
What?
We take so many notes and we think we don't have too much to talk about, but then we invariably do.
I didn't
Yeah,
take
see,
any
I
notes.
told you, I blame me.
No, I didn't take any notes. There are several moments in the episode that I feel are worth commenting on or noting on, and I'm sure it will turn into more of a discussion. I think the first thing, there are several, but I think the first thing that I want to note is the Herschel Walker. Everybody saw it, right?
The Herschel Walker, you said?
Yes.
Say more, because I...
Not the football
At the
player.
end-
Not the football player. I thought the same thing, Rachel. I thought the same
Are we watching the same
thing.
episode?
So towards the end of the episode, after young Herschel takes off, so kills the bear, Herschel takes off. Maggie's outside the building, sort of following him. This is after she. Let me think. It's right before she sees Negan. So like right before those.
Right,
doors
she's
open.
walking in the street. She sees the
Kills a
street
couple of
lamp.
walkers in the street.
Right.
The very last walker she kills looked just like her dad.
Oh,
Yep.
when you
I
say
thought the exact-
Herschel...
she even looked at him for a second.
Oh yeah.
She even looked at him for a second before she
Yep.
stabbed it.
First
He
of
had
all,
the same like striped shirt, the facial, everything. He looked just like.
I'm gonna get it pulled up.
No, I mean, I know what you're talking about. Because she struggled with it for a little while.
Yeah.
'cause-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now I'm wondering if all the walkers she put down resembled the people whom she lost.
I mean, he was
The most
obvious
noticeable.
one. I didn't.
It was very blatant. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I didn't pay attention to the ones before that, and if they resembled anybody.
Okay.
The Herschel.
What made me stop and think was how much she kind of hesitated over it. Like it took her a good few seconds to act on it. Like she was really like, "Whoa."
Well, I felt like she took it out quickly, but it was because she did.
There was a
like
whole
the-
spin around with it.
Well, no, he was like
Yeah.
coming at her, and she like pushed him up against the wall and like did one of these like under or to the side or something. And it was then when she was finally face to face where I noticed she was like, oh, and then she turned and the light was
Yeah.
flickering like he was guiding her. This
Damn.
way.
I'm so glad you said something. First of all, let me just tell you something. When you say Herschel and we're talking about Herschel and
Sure,
Herschel
you're
comes in,
thinking
Herschel
this
comes
one.
in. And I was
Yeah.
like, wait, Herschel became
Sorry.
a walker right after he left? Oh my goodness.
No,
Anyway.
his name's
As someone who grew up watching Florida Georgia games in the 80s, when you said Herschel Walker, it made me think of the football player. Who used to play
Oh,
for
I had
Georgia.
no idea. Then.
Herschel Walker, what was he doing there?
We all got confused by Rachel. It's all your fault. Also,
Eh.
also Bruegel.
Burgles bagels.
So, okay, wait. So that's what you wanted to talk about. You dropped the Easter egg.
Just like, you know,
Great
nice-
Easter egg. Also, I saw your boy Gino Grognale behind the scenes, and I'm sure that he was very much involved in
He was much involved.
in the definitely the bear mauling of the first soldier that we see, the little Chekhov's gun where you see her, she's like Maggie's looking at her, she's looking back, and then she goes, yeah, it comes in all messed up, right? Messed up. And then of course probably the bear stuff, maybe. I don't know. I know he was messing with the
that
walkers that
scene-
were chained up.
That scene was another thing I wanted to touch on. But
Touch on it.
I've got
But
Herschel
we'll-
pulled up.
Okay,
yeah, I was
good.
gonna say we're still talking about Walker Herschel.
I didn't notice, so I'm really
No?
glad that you said it. No, I didn't notice it at all. Well, it happens really quickly.
Mhm.
I have it pulled up. I'm gonna just play the clip, the like
Oh,
10,
okay.
the 5 seconds.
Can
if
you do that? Okay, go for it.
Yeah, of course. Fair
Yeah.
use. Fair use.
Oh
my
no, I
friend.
just meant do you have the ability? But go ahead.
Oh,
Oh well, I mean, I believe so.
I
You have
guess
to,
we'll
like,
find
allow
out,
it, right?
team.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out indeed. All right, how's it looking? The sound
Oh.
is off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, sound is off.
Oh wait, can't the
Okay,
Hold on. That's the
Hold
first
on.
one. That's
you
the
could
first
on.
one.
Here we
barely
go.
make it out on the stream, but okay. Yeah,
All right,
okay.
All right.
Okay, here it comes. Right here.
This one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the
this guy.
ponytail and everything.
Yep. The shirt.
Yeah, don't pause it because it'll mess
Oh,
up the.
it won't let me. Yeah, it really does.
Oh
That is
yeah,
startling.
the striped shirt and the suspenders. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That is startling.
All right. I'm down. I'm down with the sickness. I hope everybody got a chance to see that because the Luma filtering will sometimes mess with the. And it's so dark,
yes.
everybody. It's so dark.
It was very
messing
dark.
with you and Sharondy currently on stream, but it's fine.
Oh, it's messing with me heavily. I'm wearing a black shirt, so it's all
yes.
see
And
through.
you're like all see through.
And all you
It's
can see
very
is this
weird.
smiley face.
Gosh.
It's crazy.
It's my wild shirt, everybody. Don't you like my wild see-through shirt?
That's hilarious.
Little
I have
smiley
a black
face.
shirt on, and it's not doing it to me.
You have good
No.
lighting.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
really what it is.
I have to figure that out for myself.
Because I'm like untouched by it completely because I have a ring light.
I mean, if I turn this
literally right
up,
here.
it might help. No, it did not help at all. Actually,
Made it worse.
It just made it worse. Just turn it all the way down. Anyway, let's keep going, Rachel.
I'm glad I was able to point that out. So the next moment I kind of wanted to bring up was what David had just brought up. Not specifically the what did the captions call her? The guard soldier or something.
Oh, the captions called her something? Okay.
Yeah, the captions had it wasn't a name, it was just like guard tower soldier or something like that.
Okay.
But they carry her in and they lay her on the floor. Now I wanted to know if anyone else felt the same way. And it almost doesn't even matter because of how everything eventually plays out, but it seemed like Bruegel was very quick to
Dispatch
sort
her?
of hush. Well, no. She like died, and he had to like stop her from turning. That's all fine. But someone else mentions, "Oh, do you think it was?" And then he like shushes them really quickly, like they knew about this dangerous bear, but didn't want their guests to know about it.
I didn't take that determination. I did it. I don't remember his exact words. I wish I wrote them down, but it sounded to me more like, "Who did this to you? Let me avenge you," or something to that effect.
Yes. And then after it was somebody else, one of Bruegel's other bagels, and he was like, "Oh, do you think it was da da da?" And he was like, "No. This was clearly
One of the skin sacks.
Blah blah blah." But he was very quick to like dismiss this guy, and it sounded like the other guy was about to say like, "Was it the bear
That we know of that's protecting the moat.
Well, so I don't
Maybe.
know what.
So then, okay, that begs the question. Let's say that's true. What is the incentive there? I guess, is that why he's not worried about them leaving? Like, oh, you're welcome to go anytime. Ooh. And if
We
they
have a
do
bear
go,
out there that's gonna kill you.
exactly. We can't give you a safe pass. Well, then, okay, but then why would he leave somebody out there to be killed? That's another question you have to ask, if that's the case. So is she... Go ahead.
He gave her quite the look, I thought, when he passed her in like a "Do you
Knowing?
hate that woman?" kind of way. I was like, "Do you not like her? What's your beef with that girl? Like, is she not part of your team?" And so then when he's fawning over her, I was like, when he's like, "Who did this to you? Who?" And you're like, "What is that?"
So maybe that's what she said.
What's
Maybe she
happening?
was like struggling to say, you.
Maybe I don't know.
And
thought
he
it
was
was a
like,
little bit weird.
shush.
But I mean, if he's a flim flam man, then
Wow.
who
So,
knows?
and so maybe just like him liking the Dama style when it comes to dispatching anybody that is until your usefulness is not relevant anymore. Maybe he's just like the Dama. Maybe he's willing to sacrifice his own men to make a point. I like that you brought that up. That's interesting. It's a little bit more.
It ultimately doesn't.
Doesn't
my God,
matter.
I'm so
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
I thought I was muted. I
No,
just
you're good.
realized I was like over here flapping my cord and like making all sorts of noise. I'm so
You're fine.
sorry.
You're fine. I was talking
I
over
thought
you.
I was muted that whole time.
No big deal.
Okay. Anyway,
Well, why
yeah,
don't,
and like I said, ultimately it doesn't even matter because of how the bear ends up. I will say much better than the
Deer.
deer.
I thought that too. I was like, oh God, how is this
Yes.
going to look?
Uh-huh.
It actually looked like a bear.
and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, there's a reason for that. They actually did a whole mocap thing. An actor had a harness and a rig and the little viewpoints for where the bear's head's supposed to be. So Maggie can, who directed this episode, Lauren Cohan directed this
Nice.
episode. I mentioned this
Nice.
last week. So she was back and forth, going back and forth between the camera and acting. And it was if you look at the episode or Insider, as we want to say, you will see a lot of her process and how people were pretty impressed that she was going back and forth between the acting and the directing and how she to quickly get back into character, and it was pretty impressive. But going back to the bear, yeah, that's why. Mocap and everything, and there was a significant effort to get that part right. And let's talk about that for a hot sec.
Well, not just that, but the animation itself was a lot better.
Absolutely. I agree.
I do have something to say about this bear. Because I feel like the bear, I said this before we even got on stream, but it felt really inconsequential, like this bear. And then I was like, oh yeah, this happened in season 1 too. There was the Walker King. And that was
Of Dead
also
City, right.
fairly inconsequential as well. So it's more like this push for these really big, impactful special effect moments, which is cool. But at the same time, it's like, okay, but like it doesn't do anything. So as cool as it is, I'd rather you just work on the writing instead.
You know, I had the same thought. I
And I hate that I'm saying that because the Walker King was so cool.
This
but
was so
like
cool.
This was like, I don't know. It was fine.
If nothing else, I feel like it allowed a moment between Maggie and Herschel because he didn't just run off and allow her to fend for herself. He stayed. He saved her essentially, right?
Using what?
Using the trick
Using
that
the
she taught him.
the sidearm throw, if you noticed.
Meaning his
He
way.
did this,
Oh,
he did
his
the
way.
sidearm
Right.
his way and got the bear right in the eye. So I mean, if nothing else, I suppose that was the point, right? He didn't just run off. He stayed. He helped his mom. As mad as he is at her,
He doesn't want her to
obviously,
die.
He still loves her. He doesn't want her to die. He loves her, but she's just not. He's being a typical teenager right now.
Oh yeah,
Very much.
He pushes her away, but
I
at
was-
the same time, like is in shame at being discovered about the blood in the reservoir thing. Ugh.
He inadvertently saved several lives by closing that door. When he was sneaking to put the blood into the reservoir, he closed the door with all the people sleeping in there. And that probably saved a whole lot of people from getting mauled. by
Did
the
that
bear.
scene remind you guys of the satellite station on The Walking Dead? Because something about Herschel Jr. walking in and like going to close the door, at first I thought he was going to close the door behind him. And I was like, oh, no, not this. Like, not you killing people in their sleep. And so it was kind of like a nice diversion of like a subversion of expectations. Like I kind of expected that to happen. He went a different, sneakier, arguably, route.
Is it mine? Anyway, he went a sneakier route.
That I just it brought to mind the satellite station for me.
I think that's
Glenn's
real.
and Glenn's trauma that came from that, because he really struggled with that afterwards. And I wonder how this would have been had Maggie not found him and stopped him. How maybe this would have affected him later.
So maybe this episode is a lot like learning from the past, and is the answer to why she doesn't ultimately kill Negan in response to Armstrong. And she says this to Ginny later on. She says, every time I tried, I couldn't. I wasn't able to, let's put it that way. Or I got there and I couldn't, right? you remind me of my wife and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And then she said herself, it cost me. The whole ordeal cost me. You know, made me want to leave because I couldn't hang around him anymore. You know, the reason why she left The Walking Dead, essentially.
Well, it cost her her family too, essentially, because now Herschel Jr. does not want to be around her as a result of all of this long burning seething and hatred.
Yeah, including Herschel. No, I can't hear that. It's fine.
Thank
Maybe.
God, because my dog just burped very loudly.
Maybe I'll hear it in post. Hey, Spotify folks or audio podcast people, if you happen to hear it and I leave it in, that'll be awesome. For you, maybe? I don't know if you like hearing dog burps, but I'm curious now. I hope I hear
It
it.
was pretty funny.
Burp. Okay. Okay. Well, just to go back to the actual bear thing for a hot sec, I agree with you, though. It felt very inconsequential, for one. I was thinking that as well. Like, why is this there? Why is it here? It fills up quite a lot of time, too. Now, I will say it's great that we brought this up.
He also took out all of Bruegel's fighters, which I don't know if that will come in to mean something later on, but
Oh, you
all
mean
of
the walker
Bruegel's
fighters?
fighting walkers? Yeah, it took all of them out.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. And they had to clean it. You saw the cleanup after that, too. Let me just add one more thing to this, because I agree with you. But at the same time, had we not talked about Bruegel and being bored, I feel like even that whole sequence is a dig on the audience and how great things are. And sometimes we need, because look, the audience is going to like this stuff. I don't think many, because we're in the analysis corner of the internet. We're looking at the deeper meaning and what does this mean. So when we see something like this, I literally getting notes for this episode. Skip 10 seconds. I know what happens basically. And the only notes I wrote on that was Herschel taking the sidearm shot, then dipping out for Maggie to have to go after him. That's it. That's all I wrote. I said it was cool that the blood was dripping all over Maggie, the bear blood. That's about it, though. That's it.
I hope they skin that bear and use that meat, because holy cow, like, when are you ever going to find a pile of meat of that quantity again?
I feel like Sharondy's about to say, but bear meat tastes terrible, right? Because it sounds like a
I'm
Sharon.
sure it's fine.
I was just gonna say that I enjoyed the bear. I thought it was something fun, even though it may have been inconsequential. It was still something, especially since they kind of built it up a couple of episodes ago with something being in the park, you know. And so I mean, I felt like it was fun. Like I agree with you guys. It wasn't very consequential, but it was something different, and I don't know. It was just fun to watch.
Bridge is just
more than anything.
yelling at us, going, bread and circuses, bread and circuses. Inconsequential. I'm just
No,
throwing
I mean, it
just
was
throwing
fine.
under
And
the bus.
actually,
It's
I
fine.
really appreciate that Rachel brought up that it did give a moment for Maggie and Herschel
Yeah.
Jr.
I
to
agree.
like connect, because
What
then
what
it serves
did
a
more-
purpose, and then I'm willing to relinquish that it's inconsequential, and I'm willing to say, like, okay, I can see that it serves a purpose. There was a build up to it, but honestly, it happened so long ago that I forgot about it. Like, that's and see, that's why it's like, okay, did you make this for the people who watch it when they're binging it? Because that would have been, you know what I mean? Like, if you watch them rapid succession,
Oh, yeah.
then you're gonna remember that, and then maybe. But that's not how I'm watching this show. So it's like,
Well,
okay,
you have
that
to-
happened freaking forever ago, dude.
Yeah, you have to
Except
concede.
I
You have to concede that that's how
had
they've been
remembered.
going.
I had remembered, and I every episode I was like, "Where is the thing in the park? When are we gonna see
Where's
the thing
Benjamin
in the
Pierce?
park? I want to know where it is." So yeah, I wouldn't say I was expecting the bear, but I was like, when is this thing in the park that they, you know, hinted at 2 episodes ago gonna show up?
I was
So I
expecting
was
the
super
bear.
happy. I thought it was gonna be a lion. I didn't know it was gonna be a bear. I thought for sure it would be a lion in there, but it's cool. I'm happy
Is
with
it
the
just
bear. The
me,
bear
or
was cool.
Was anybody hoping for like a crazy souped up walker?
No, I
That's
knew it
really
was a
what I
bear.
wanted.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
I wanted it to be some kind of animal just because I thought that would be more fun. Like I would have been cool with like a big gorilla or something. Like who cares? Whatever. It was fun.
Gorilla was actually what I
Um,
thought it was when I heard
And I
the
liked
sound.
how they made it all beat up. You know, like it had survived some stuff out there. The eye
Oh,
was put out.
okay.
But I know people are like, oh, it got to walkers. But I mean, there are other bears out there after 17 years.
Somewhere out there.
I'm sure there are more bears in the park because there was more than one bear in the zoo. I'm assuming. So I actually am surprised there's not more animals floating around in Central Park. Like it should be like the Serengeti out there. It should be like a jungle with all the animals fending for themselves. That
If
would
they be
totally
fruitful
cool.
and multiply, assuming that they have the male female pairing of the animals, like Noah's Ark down the line, maybe.
Yeah. The other issue is that the walkers are in such mass quantities in Manhattan that, like, I don't know. There's a lesser likelihood of the animals surviving, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Seems to be the case.
Well, I mean,
Kind of across the board, honestly.
when Rufus got bitten by a walker, he died. But I have the feeling that the bear are animals, like not all animals are susceptible to walker bites. Or
Reference. What's
or-
Rufus?
From Fear the Walking Dead.
Which season?
Fear the Walking
something.
Dead.
Yeah, you have to kind of
Season
qualify.
6.
Season 7.
Six or
He dies
seven.
in season 7.
Yeah.
This was Josiah's.
Dave cried, y'all.
Yeah, Josiah's, but formerly. What's the first guy's? Was the first guy
Emil?
Josiah?
Emil.
Emil. Thank you. LaRue, apparently.
And then his
Emil
evil
was
twin.
the
Dun, dun,
first,
dun,
yeah.
dun.
Josiah.
Sorry.
It was
Emil
actually
the
it was
evil twin.
Breathe with Me that was the episode he passes.
Yes.
It's a great episode. 702 or 4?
Yeah.
4.
It's Mo's episode.
Mo Collins' feature.
Yes.
Anyways, yes. So, well, I think there was more from the injuries, though, right? It was like a. Right?
No, it was pretty
thought he
jacked
just got,
up when
like,
it
bit
came
on the
in.
leg.
Yeah, he was an old dog to begin with, too. So,
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
wasn't like a young bear.
Infection gets us all, like
Oh,
Ginny.
you're talking about Rufus. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm trying to talk about the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. How dare you, Bridget?
How dare we flip back and forth without any rhyme or reason?
Okay, I have more.
Like,
I have
how
more
would I
things.
know?
I have more things in limited time.
Yes.
Well, let's go to the chat before we do.
Okay.
Okay. Absolutely with the schmear.
Rob
says Rob.
says.
I wonder if that was written in the script for that to look like her dad in reference to the Herschel Walker, or if Lauren had that out in as director for this episode. Which either way is cool. I'm surprised it wasn't in the episode or Insider, honestly.
I am too. You saw it too, right?
No, I don't watch that. Anyway, Rob said he just noticed the cocaine optional tag under Sharon D's name.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
And then roasted splatter G.
Why are you reading that?
9G. I'm just kidding.
Best fuels on Boost Procs online. I have to read it like that. I don't know why. Best viewers.
That's how it sounds. And then
No, the
Rob
best-
says, gotta wonder how the bear got out of the enclosure from the Central Park Zoo, or any animal for that matter, which is really why it's believable to me that there would not be more animals, because
They would have died in their cells.
they would have
The
died
cages.
in the enclosures. Most
Mm.
likely. Most likely.
Good
And
point.
then Tess says, I gotta run. Have a good night. Glad I jumped in.
good night.
Bye, Tess.
Unless you have somebody like
Bye, Tess.
Ezekiel.
King Ezekiel who went
Let 'em
through
out.
and let all the animals out
Yeah.
so that they wouldn't starve to death in their enclosures, which is
Yeah.
horrible.
It's entirely.
It is
possible.
horrible. But if that person died first, then there was no one to do it.
Yeah, think of all the people in the prisons and stuff like that that couldn't get out or
I know.
something to
I
that
know.
effect.
Ugh. Horrible.
Well, you know what? People earned their way into there. Not all of them, but yes, some people earned their way in there. Animals didn't do anything to be in those cages other than be animals.
They were born.
That's the only reason they're in that cage.
Yeah, they're born.
They were
They're
destined.
asking.
They were
for
destined.
it.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't either. So how about that?
Wow.
Just being a
All right, Rachel, what do you got?
character.
I have three more things.
Oh, 3 more things. Okay.
Delighted.
One, the Glen-shaped hole that is in Maggie and Herschel's life.
I wrote
Few
Negan-sized
references.
hole.
In the middle
no.
of
In my notes.
everything.
No, if anything, Negan is like the elephant in the room. What's leaving a hole is Glenn.
Just saying, even Herschel saw it.
I
was
knew
like,
you were
yeah,
going to say
even
that.
Herschel
I
sees
knew
it.
you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
No.
As soon as he's like giving that whole "don't lie to me" speech, I was like, "Oh God, Sharondy's going to take off with this one."
Okay.
In
Well-
reference to her hashtag hate bang.
hmm
This is what I was going to bring up actually, because there is a Sharon, can you mute when you sniff? Sorry, it's just a lot.
Sorry.
But
Sorry.
when people were talking about this, there is a contingent of hashtag Neggies that have said this was the moment that Herschel was telling, but not telling Maggie that it's because of Negan. It's because you love Negan. We should talk about this, and I wonder, Sharon,
Well,
is that
I mean,
Really? Do we
I
really
will
need to
say,
waste our breath
I will say
on
that it's. I never said anything about them being in love
Waste.
ever. Ever have
I
I
don't
said
know.
that. I said hate bang. There is a
First
difference.
of all, Rachel's really upset at me
But-
for bringing this up.
But I mean,
It's not what
I'm somewhat joking in that area. I don't believe that at all was what Herschel was talking about. That is just me joking. But the fact remains that she is obsessed with Negan.
Sure.
Oh, agreed.
I mean, there is the she's obsessed with the idea of him in some way. It's either him dying or now she's obsessed with saving him. But she has been obsessed with Negan for years. It's not love. I'm joking, guys.
No,
They have great
she
chemistry,
is-
okay? But she gives way more attention to Negan than she does to Herschel.
I agree. She even admits as much to Ginny, right? When her and Ginny are having that conversation, and she talks about being afraid. She's like, I've had opportunities to kill him. I've wanted this for so long. And then she admits, if I kill him, David, you touched on this recently. If she kills him, then what? Then she
Who do you
has-
become?
who are you if you don't have this? If you don't have this horror, if you don't have this vendetta against this person, who are you? And
Your
I like
identity.
what you said before. Who do I have to blame when things go wrong?
Right.
I think that is a huge part of why she's so obsessed with Negan. It's easy for her to blame him for everything right now. And if he's dead, if he's gone, she has to face the fact that it's her. All of her bad decisions are everything that's happened is a result of her bad decisions.
Good cleanup, yeah. Because, it's not all her. And Negan says as much. It's not your fault. Everything that's happened to
Right, right.
Herschel, what Herschel's become, that's not on you. That's just life. And well, this is why you hate her, because she puts it all in herself.
Yes.
Because she learns from the best. Anyway, I wanted to go back to that because just to clean that up a little bit, there is a little bit of explanation or mansplaination that needs to happen in this scenario, because both Herschel and Maggie knows why she protects Negan, and only those two. Well, from our protagonist, quote unquote, perspective, Armstrong doesn't know the answer why Maggie spares Negan. Take note of that. Why she does not trust Armstrong 100%. Maybe she will at some point, but she does not. And she does not answer him. Why? Because she's not sure that anything he gives her will not go back to New Babylon, and it'll be just another thing they can use to take advantage of Negan. Or at least Armstrong, because again, Armstrong was purported to have killed Negan, and that news never got back to New Babylon Federation, which is why we leave off at the end of the episode with Bruegel taking advantage of that fact. Hey, they're not going to like it if I tell them that the Negan killer, the Negan slayer, is still alive. Anyway, so going back to that, that's important because when they talk about it, sorry, hashtag Neggy folks, not you, Sharon, because you and me are in the same camp. It's fun to kind of make fun of people who get upset about it. But anyway.
Well, her perspective is not what they're saying.
Yeah, their perspective, because he was there when.
No, I meant Sharon. Sharon's
Oh.
not.
Oh, yeah,
in the
no,
Maggie camp. She's in the making fun. Never.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Never mind, keep
Neggy
going.
camp to the
She
extent that I
femme-splained me.
think it's funny. It's
She
funny.
just likes making me mad.
It's funny to get people worked up about it.
Yeah. Well, also it's
Apparently,
It's
even
the
when
hate
it's your
bang.
best friend. So thanks.
it's the hate bang too. It's
Especially
like
when it's my best friend.
It's disgusting. I can't even tell. Like
She gets so like,
I get so mad.
and rather than getting mad at Charity, she gets mad at me. Do you just realize that?
I get so mad.
Do we really have to waste our breath on this? Do we, David? David? Charity's the she brought it up.
I'm so mad.
Anyway,
So mad.
let me continue.
Like I said,
Wait,
like I said
I
last week.
didn't finish what I was saying though. But let me finish that part, because when they're having that conversation, both Herschel and Maggie are aware of this fact that Joshua and Annie are a real thing. We knew that from The Walking Dead. It's transported to here. That's why she's sparing him. Keeping that in mind, Herschel's mad because who cares? Herschel is a kid. And this is more of a question than it is a statement. Do you think Herschel gets so worked up because it's like, you're not responsible over Annie and Joshua effectively for keeping their husband/father alive, right? It's not on you. Is that what Herschel's saying when he gets so pissed off at Maggie?
No.
Like, why do you care? Why do you care?
Does Herschel even know Annie and Joshua?
Yes, I
exist?
just said that from The Walking Dead. They got introduced
does.
Oh,
in the
that's right,
tower
that's right,
episode.
sorry.
He knows
That's
that.
right.
I
I forget.
I thought the anger was directed at the fact that it's like Maggie can't admit that she's let Negan become the center of everything that she does. And that's what that stop lying thing is about, because she goes from wanting him dead to not wanting him dead to wanting him dead again to not wanting him dead. And it's this back and forth. And Herschel's like, well, just admit it. Just admit that he is everything you think about. And you don't think about me, your kid. You just think about this guy. And that's it. And not in a romantic way, not in a I want to bone you kind of way or whatever, but just in a like, I can't stop thinking about this guy because he ruined my whole life. And Rob made an excellent point in the comments. I'm going to read it right now. I think deep down, Maggie has forgiven Negan, but she can't forgive herself for doing so because it feels like she's betrayed Glenn by doing that.
Oh,
Perfect, Rob.
oh, that hit me right in the guts, Rob.
I love that though. That's such a great perspective. Like
Really
forgiving
is.
but not forgiving herself.
Yeah, like she's forgiven Negan, but she can't forgive herself for forgiving Negan because to her that ruins Glenn's memory.
Which is very ironic, right? Because
It's not at all
everything
how
we
Glenn
know
would want it.
exactly everything we know about Glenn, he would have eventually forgiven Negan too, especially seeing his arc, right? Where he is now. Glenn would have forgiven him as well.
Well, and where he is now is the afterlife, and he's like, yeah, whatever, Maggie, just move on, please, for my sake, please move on.
Okay. I have two more things, but I can only talk about one
Oh, okay.
because it's after 8:00.
I know I really love this point, but yes, please, let's move on. It's fine.
Okay.
That's why I wrote Negan in my notes, by the way. The Negan-sized hole is the center of her whatever. Anyway, go on.
Okay. Negan's the elephant. Glenn is the hole. Anyway, did
They
anybody?
don't quite fit.
No, it's like square.
Going back to the hate
peg,
bang.
round hole. No, doesn't fit. Did anyone else, when Negan hears the scratching on the door, right, and he's like, "Oh my gosh," and he finds this door, and he like goes, did anyone else? I fully expected him to find Annie and Joshua in there, like they had been there the whole time.
I did too.
And they were just okay, yeah.
And they were just walkers? No, I'm kidding.
I did too.
No.
No, just had been there
that they were there
imprisoned
the whole time. Yeah.
I did not
I
think
thought that too.
I
I thought that too.
I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I didn't think that far ahead.
I mean,
But
I was very
that's
glad
cool.
to see that it was Mr. Pierce.
Mr. Pierce. How respectable.
I like
Insane Clown Posse. Mr. Pierce. Sorry.
Okay, wait. What's your last point? I want to know before you leave.
It was something Charity brought up before we started. It was Negan's comment about,
History?
were the old times really good, or do we just remember them that way?
Oh, that's
Gonna be a
line.
conversation.
that was the most
Beautiful
profound
line.
line. And it dovetails to the talking to Pierce about history, good
Yes.
flow on the
Yeah.
conversation. Nice. And so apparently he's been thinking about this since Pierce brought it up. You know, when they
Well,
they
it's
go back.
so applicable to everyone's life, right? Everything, every memory
we all feel that way.
every
Yeah.
memory we have. Is that how it happened, or do I choose to remember it that way?
Or am I only choosing to remember the times where we had a semblance of peace? And we all do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
Graduation goggles, right?
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. was thinking more relationship goggles.
Well, all of the
That
above,
too.
really.
Yeah,
It's
all of
any
that.
point. It's any point where you're moving on. You look back on it with fondness or longing because now that time has passed.
Hmm.
It's just like natural, it's like human nature for us to do that. But it's also, I want to just state, it's also a psychological defense mechanism that your brain has built to ensure that you do not feel heartache and trauma every time you think of something from the past.
Right, because how are you going to move on? It's your survival mechanism, right?
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's just your brain's way of saying, like, hey, it's okay to move on. You can remember this fondly and move on.
Well, and that's irony, right? For Maggie, in a sense.
Oh,
You have all these lovely memories you can recall, and it be just let them be, right? Let them be. Let them be a thing of light in your life that you can remember fondly, even though, yes, there's a darkness there's at the tail end of it. But I mean, if you purported to forgive the man who killed your husband, then you can. You're allowed to look at those memories fondly, and it be okay. Be okay with letting it be. I keep thinking of The Last of Us, by the way, and how prescient. Be okay with going home and not getting the revenge you wanted.
I think Herschel could do with a session with Catherine O'Hara. Since you brought up The Last of Us.
A session?
A session.
Well, I mean, at least one.
He's boy needs.
To be fair, he's
Smack in the
just
rope.
being a teenager, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
So he also
just
needs a
being
smack in the
teenager.
rope. That's fine.
Okay, guys, I love you. It's my bedtime.
Love you.
Love you. Good night.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's just being a teenager in a world
I'm upset that you're
where-
leaving, by the way. But I love you.
Okay,
Yes.
noted.
Bye.
Have a good night.
See you
Good night.
Good night.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And there were dummies.
He's a teenager in a world where it's very unusual. You know, it's not as a normal teenager by very normal teenager by any stretch. Today's teenager.
I'm sorry. I only caught the end of it because he went like robotic on my end.
I think I got the basic
Okay,
gist. He's
sorry.
in a world of teenagers. Wait, you said he's in a world of sorry.
What I said was he's
a
a teenager.
teenager.
Bridget said he's acting just like a teenager, and I was like, yeah, not only is he a teenager, but he's a teenager in a world
Mm,
that is not like a normal teenager world. You know what I mean? Like
sure. Yeah, of course.
in today's society, teenagers have leeway, you know, and he just doesn't have any of that. There's no security. net
Yes,
for him.
yes. Yeah, it's kind of. I don't remember the context in which I mentioned this, but I remember talking about, well, what is teenage life or what is being a young person, but getting a pass for all the dumb things you do until you reach the age of a number where you automatically become an adult and now you're responsible over the things that you do. You're supposed to kind of get
An
all that out of
arbitrary
you.
number at that.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Which is fine. We can be okay with that, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, give them a chance to kind of a little wiggle room to kind of get things a little bit wrong, so that they can hopefully suddenly realize that now they are responsible for their actions. And you don't have that leeway as Herschel. Just getting back to the point. And yeah, I mean, how hard is that for Herschel? Like to have your mom hovering over you this whole time. You're making sure you do everything right, which is why when she stops him with the blood thing, that the kind of callback to Glenn in the satellite station, in a sense, she's like, put that canteen down just right now. Put it down. And she's like, you're right, but damn it, I want to do it. I want to murder. Please let me murder.
He's also a teenager, and that's why he came up with such a terrible plan.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I'm not saying it's a good plan, like as a thing to do. Just saying I wouldn't do it, but I don't know. What do you think Herschel was? Why was he going to do that? Because he says it's a win-win. He sort of says it's a win-win. If I do this, Negan stays alive, as per your desires. He has a kid and a wife. You want him to live, so he's not another person who gets to lose their whole family, another fatherless family. Good, fine. But then I get to be with the Dama.
Well, see, it's ludicrous that he makes mention of Negan and is like, well, this is what you wanted. No, she didn't want that. You're just trying to do what you want to do to be with this creepy old lady who's dead now, by the way. And in order to do that, you're like twisting it and manipulating your mom by saying, like, well, this is what you wanted. It's classic teenage behavior, honestly. So classic. I've probably used this whole game myself. You know what I mean?
I did it from watching you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not checking. You're a turkey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
But wait. Though you even said it in this episode. I think it was you. He does care about his mom. He does come in with the clinch, with the sidearm throw, and saves
that was
his
Rachel.
mom. Okay, fine. But you acknowledge it too. It's like he doesn't want her to die.
yeah, of course. He loves her. He does
So,
love her.
Maybe there's
Just like
some truth in that.
Just like even when your parent is a total scumbag, you still love them deep down to some level, right? Like they're your parent. Like you have some fondness for them or some memory or like one memory of a good time with them, maybe. Or
Oh damn!
I don't know.
You went
Or
there.
you have like Stockholm syndrome or something. But I'm saying like it's I don't know. I don't know. He does love her deep down. He does. But he's very much just playing up this whole, well, come on, you just don't understand. I just want to do what I want to do. It's like he has, yeah, exactly.
Emo child.
All
Yeah.
of a sudden he's
He has
listening
emo
to
hair.
Hawthorne
Well,
Heights.
Wanting a
And
little
bright eyes.
independence, wanting a little independence is a lot different than wanting your mother to die. Like, I don't want you to die. I just want you to back off of me for a little bit and let me
Yeah.
do my thing.
And she is a helicopter.
I
I'll
mean-
give him that. I will give him that.
I can. Yeah.
Go on, Sharon, if you can.
She might be cutting
I was
out.
agreeing with Bridget.
Okay. No, there's a little bit of static on your, like a little bit of
Like a delay.
lagginess.
Okay. I was just agreeing with Bridget.
Okay. Let me add something to that. Something I often say and often forget that I say is that two things can be true. And that is, A, I love you, Mom. But B, I blame you for everything wrong that's gone in my life. Isn't that tragic to think about for a hot sec, to really dwell on? Is that you are the cause of and solution to all of my problems. Yeah, solution meaning you stop me from getting into too much trouble, or you keep me safe, blah, blah, blah. But also you're the cause of all the terrible things in my life because you refuse to exit this event horizon of this black hole that is, I'm going to say Negan. You say Glenn, but it's really Negan's the one walking around doing stuff. So, I mean, what a predict. And I mean, sorry, as I say this, I do think of you, Bridget, because of all the things you said about your mom. Like, you love her to death, but at the same time, you mentioned that, she's kind of like the cause of some of the issues that you've had, cyclical melodrama and all that stuff.
Oh,
And
well,
how
it
there's
was
that duality.
Predominantly, it was my dad.
Okay.
Now, I speak very fondly of my father because we reconciled before his passing, but you have to remember I spent 11 years intentionally not talking to the man. As from the age of 16 or 17 on into my 20s, I did not speak to him because of how angry I was at him. But yeah, I mean, your parents ultimately, it's nature versus nurture. There's a lot to be said for both, right? And there's some disagreement in the psychology world as to which one is more
It's nature.
influential. That is currently
Debate's over.
That's currently the thing, but it's like about eggs or not wearing bras.
What?
Like they're gonna flip flop about it. It's like eggs are good for you. No, they're bad for you. No, they're good for you. No, they're
I
bad
see
for
what
you.
you're saying.
You should wear a bra because it helps you. And if you don't wear a bra, then the muscles can stay taut. She didn't like the bra talk. Anyway,
Sharon exited the stream, by the way. That's what that amounted to.
so
it's nurture. Damn it, I'm leaving. You're like, no, it's nature.
It's just like
that's what's one.
it's the thing is like I think that they'll go back and forth on this probably till the end of time, just because that's how these things go. But
it's nature. Anyway, it's fine.
But that's fine, Dave. Whatever you want to say out loud is fine. I don't care. Um,
Nobody does. It's fine.
it's what I'm saying is your parents and the genetics that your parents bring into things do ultimately make you who you are. Now, I am a changed person from when I was a child, obviously, but there are some things that ultimately will never be altered about me, about my personality. I've talked about doing like, I'm not a big fan of personality tests, but I have taken a very well researched one called Clifton Strengths. I've talked about it before. It's like a
You have.
business school thing. And that one I was informed after, because I took it in my 20s, and when I was taking it again, the guy was like, well, you could just use your results from them. And I'm like, I don't have access to that. And even if I did, dude, I'm in my 30s and I've died, like, and been through a domestic violence situation. You don't think I'm a different person now? And he goes, no, actually, trauma is proven not to affect these results.
So nature.
Like, you are who you are ultimately.
Yeah.
Um,
So I was right.
and
You just want to say I'm right. It's fine.
Dave, I'm trying to make a point here, and he just wants me to say he's right. This guy. Fine, Dave, you're
This-
right. Oh my God, can I move on now?
Yeah. This guy over here. Yeah.
Anyway, ultimately your parents make you who you are in one facet or another, and the way you talk, your mannerisms, all of that stuff comes from being around people, and then also your genetics help to form who you are. Ultimately, what it comes down to is I love both of my parents. I love my dad very much. He was not a great guy. He was actually really, I'm going to just say it. He was a shitbag. Okay?
It's a dirtbag. Jeez.
Sorry. It wasn't strong enough. He was not a good guy. Now, he was flawed and he had regrets about those flaws, and so that's ultimately why I was able to forgive him. And same thing with my mom, right? Like, my mom is not a perfect person. I love her dearly. I do not blame her for anything that's happened in my life. Now, if we're talking teenage Bridget, if we're comparing teenage Bridget to teenage Herschel Jr., 100% I was probably just as bad as this kid.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Going
like,
back to
I
this. Okay.
blamed my family probably for everything. I was ungrateful for every aspect of my life. I was absolutely miserable. So that's why, like, when he does this stuff, I'm like, dude, this is classic teenage behavior. But you know what this is? Even more so, Dave, now that we're talking about this,
Sure.
this
That's
is
what we're getting
classic
at.
teenage behavior of a teenager who's grown up without one of their parents.
Okay. Say
I'm going to
more.
go ahead and say it.
Say more.
I'm going to go ahead and say it because my experience was unique to the fact that my dad was not present. Okay. And when I say unique, I don't mean like it's unique. It's not. Like, millions of people are living this same life right
It's
now.
like a feature of.
It's a unique feature of not having both parents present in your house can result in different things. I'm not saying that I'm worse off because of it. I don't agree with that. I think being in abuse actively as a young girl probably would have been worse for me.
Oh, I say so because he exited. Okay, this actually will bring us to the episode because he
But-
exited the situation.
Yes.
Okay,
it may have been
might
better
been
for me
worse.
long term.
Gotcha.
Maybe, I don't know,
I
because
mean,
I
again,
don't get
two
to see
things can be true.
I don't get to see the other side. But what I will say is that this anger towards his mother resembles very strongly the type of anger that I had towards my own mother and my father as a child who grew up with only one parent present. And so that's why I'm willing to write off so much of this as like he's just being a teenager, because that's how I have to reconcile how I behaved.
Oh,
Because, and therapists have told me this, because the amount of responsibility that I had from a young age was unacceptable.
right.
And look at Herschel.
That's what. I was
How
gonna
much
say.
responsibility has he been given at such a young age? And that type of responsibility for young children is unacceptable and inappropriate. Now, you're living in the post-apocalyptic world, so it's not an option. We've made the argument
Sure.
that these children need to be ready, that you're doing them a disservice if you're letting them be kids, quote unquote.
Yeah, and what a Faustian bargain that is. It's like you kind of want them to just. You want to make it so that they can just be kids. Wouldn't any parent want that? But I get the argument that, like, well, no, maybe you can do that, but maybe only if you train them to do the things. Now, isn't Herschel one of those people? He's trained. He knows how to do things.
Yeah.
He's obviously been, but it's the opposite side of that, isn't it? Herschel has been overly helicoptered. He's been protected to the max, and yet he knows all the things, and he's never had a really normal life. So
how can you reconcile those two things? Like, you're telling me I'm fully capable of protecting myself, but then you won't let me even try.
right, exactly. And look, the end of the argument is there's no good answer. Honestly, there really isn't. You
No,
can
I
say
don't-
that you can protect your kid all you want. You give them all the tools that they need or whatever. That it's not a good situation for children.
That's the
period.
thing. I can't fault her for it. Like, I watch it and I'm like, oh, you should probably give him some space. That's me being like logical. Like, oh, well, he's probably going to act out if you don't give him enough space. But
But you
as
can't
a-
afford to give them.
as a woman who desperately wants to have children, I can only imagine you have one baby. You're going to protect him with everything you have.
After losing everybody that you had.
Everyone else.
Mhm, mhm.
Everyone else. And I'm sorry because I went off on a very long tangent.
But all this to go
about
back to
my
Maggie
own-
and Herschel.
about my
That's-
own
That's
parental
fair. That's
relationships.
fair. That's fair. Because I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the road, all of this is really to say that it's an impossible situation, and there's the Negan thing hanging around, being like an albatross on both their backs, because, and maybe even Herschel himself is not understanding that, like Maggie, using Negan as a sort of cover for all the bad things that have ever happened. Like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, that could be around. Well, what's happening? You're making a face.
Something is banging? I don't know. Hold on.
Oh, like again from the floorboards? It's a heating of the.
Maybe. No, it's not. Because the HVAC doesn't work anymore and we have window units. So
Oh, okay. Well, just like Maggie's using Negan as an excuse to kind of say, well, everything that's happened in my life, oh, it's him. It's all Negan. It's all. She doesn't have to face herself. Well, isn't then Herschel sort of the same way? He's using his mom as the excuse.
yeah, I agree. I agree that's the case. And I think it's really interesting to see, like, in that moment, in that conversation where he's telling her, like, stop lying, and people, I think, really misinterpreted that because, well,
yeah, as we
they
said.
hear what they want to hear, but
Right.
also like media literacy.
Sure.
I think that Buffy the Vampire Slayer might
Be the vampire slayer?
be the Vampire Slayer.
You're
So
supposed to say it, but anyway. Go ahead.
I
So you need media literacy.
maybe,
Sorry.
maybe,
Maybe, baby.
maybe.
So people interpret things.
Because I didn't see the Herschel walk. So people,
Which one? Wait, Herschel was a walk. Oh, Herschel
I know.
Senior.
I was with you, Dave. You and I were on the same. We were on the same wavelength. I was
Man.
like, dude, what are you talking
What are
about?
you talking about? Herschel's a walker. Anyway, go on.
And then I
So
was like,
just
oh
like-
god, this is gonna be a racist thing. So
Because of the football player.
sure. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So so he's talking to her about this, like, stop lying to me. And I think it's two things at the same time. Like, I think he's mad at his mom for letting Negan eat up so much of her attention. I think he's also mad at her for now giving up this thing that she's believed in for so many years, and what he would argue ruined his life was her focus on hatred of Negan. Now she's kind of flipping the script on this and saying, like, well, he's changed. He's changed. He's a different guy now.
He's changed. He's a different guy now. He has people in his life that they're innocent. They don't deserve having a father
So-
taken away from him. I'm not
so
going to
I
descend to
think-
his level.
I think Herschel
his
feels
old
like
level.
two ways at the same time. Like, he's like, give it up, let this guy go. And at the same time, he's like, and now you've wasted my entire life threatening to kill him, and you won't even do it now.
Let's be more specific. It's not just give it up and let him go. It's give it up and let him fend for himself. It's one thing to let him live. It's another thing to take. It's like the scorpion metaphor, right? The scorpion takes a ride from I'm going to say turtle. I don't remember the exact animal. Maybe it was a tiger.
Frog?
Maybe it's the frog. Yeah, scorpion the frog.
feel like
That's
it's
right.
frog.
You're right. You're right. And then, well, actually, it's a different metaphor. I'm sorry. It's more of when you save someone's life, they're bound to you forever, which you can say about Maggie and Negan. That's fine when you
Sure.
spare someone's life. And Maggie spares Negan's life, so he's bound to her forever. You can say that. But
Technically, he spared hers first. Just saying.
yeah, I guess so. But indirectly, anyway. the point is, Herschel's basically saying to her, just because you spared his life and he happened to live with the Croat, they didn't know what plans they had for him. They didn't know that we're going to use him as the Dama's machinations, whatever. It doesn't mean that you have to save his life every time he's in trouble. Fair
Sure.
point. Fair point. You don't owe Annie and Joshua anything. You don't owe
Yeah.
Negan anything. You
That's what I'm
gave
saying,
him
like,
his
I think
life.
I think it's interesting that he can feel more than one way about it.
There
Because
is
we can all feel more than one way about it. It's the same way that we feel about Negan. I don't agree with what he did. And we're talking season 7, Walking Dead, episode 1. We all know the episode.
we all know it, Bridget.
The day will come when you won't be.
If Rachel was here, she'd be mad at you.
I don't forgive him for what he did. But I cannot disagree that he is a different person. He is. He's not that guy anymore. And I know he'll say, like, given the chance, I would do it all over the same way, or except this time I would kill all of you.
Which is also a long time ago. It was a couple of years ago at this point.
Yeah, I know. Which,
But that's if assuming
Joshua
that
didn't look old enough based on the timeline that's got.
we can talk about that. But I think he was saying that also. If I was the same me that I was several years ago,
yeah,
sure I would have, knowing what I know
Yeah.
now. But I'm not
Yeah.
the same me. Therefore, this is just a hypothetical. Fine.
Well, and for him to ask advice of Maggie now, like, he is truly a changed man. Truly.
Yes, of course, 100%. But yeah, maybe the more I talk about this, the more I am thinking that is the apt metaphor, is when you save someone's life, you are bound to them. And maybe that's why he feels, but nobody understands what I'm going through more than you are at this moment, because my family's life is in danger. You get what I get. In season 1, it was Herschel's life that was in danger. He was captured. And of course you understand what I'm feeling right now. Who better to understand me than you, and who better to understand me based on history, based on a person you happen to know for all this time, which is a rare thing in this universe, by the way. Even the Bricks, they
Yeah.
had that one lady who we don't see again. It was in the first season. I forget her name. It started with an N. Nora?
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, it doesn't matter. But
Doesn't
she wasn't in the
matter.
second season. Why? Well, Maggie's not supposed to know people for a long enough time to get to know them, I guess, or something. Anyway, no, but I really wanted to bang on because that really goes to Negan and his forgiveness hole, or the hole in his life, because the decision he makes at the end of the episode to not see his kids. He's been thinking a lot about history and how I can keep making excuses for the man I used to be, but the fact remains is the Croat is a byproduct. Everything that has existed past the old me, let's just say old me, quote unquote, is a byproduct of who I've been. So how do I move?
True.
How do I?
It's true of everyone, though.
Yeah, but most of us have the
Honestly,
most of us have
it's
the
like
luxury.
he's having a midlife crisis.
Yeah,
Well, I think a lot of this comes back to the conversation that he has with the Croat, which
which he is remorseful
the
about when
fight,
he says it.
their fight,
Yeah.
essentially, where he says, like, the only reason you are where you are today is because of me. Which, as much as I'm like, Negan's a changed man, this is a very narcissistic thing to say.
But then he's Croat. To be fair, the Croat has
Croat
as
says-
much self-awareness to say you're right.
Yes. I don't love it. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
But why did he say it? Why did Negan say it? Because he's been dwelling on this for the longest. He's been in captivity for a year, thinking about how this man is me. He had
Well, I
no
think-
identity. It was erased. This is one thing that we have to remind the whole audience about, is his Croat's origin story is his life ended when his family was killed. And he was an empty vessel, and Negan filled it with the saviorism. And then he is his brother. He's his twin brother. Negan! Buras! You know, that whole thing. I'm not going to do the impression. And so he existed until Negan gave him life. Frankenstein's monster, right? That whole thing, if you think about
Sure.
it that way. So he's taken that all. Look who's starting to take things on himself now. He's caught the Maggie virus and the Rick virus.
But I felt like the way that Negan presented it was it came out of anger. Him saying that.
Well,
Like
who's he
he's
angry at
angry.
though? Who's he angry at though?
Well, he's angry, but in that moment, he's angry at the Croat because he's like, "You discover." I know that's not truly what it is, Dave. Come on, don't.
Well,
be
he knows
like
that too,
Come on,
though.
just give me a second. Give me a second.
Give me a second. All right. Okay.
It comes out as anger, and then there's that realization in the moment. Like I'm saying it. I'm super angry. You are nothing without me. And then when the Croat says, "You're right. I am who I am because of you," all of a sudden it's like all the anger is drained and then there's just regret left, where he's realizing you have killed all of these people. You've done all of this horrible stuff. You've killed kids because I made you this way. I helped form you into this person and then I set you out into the world.
Oh my God, Bridget. Bridget. Want to hear something? Aren't you glad we talked about nature versus nurture? Well, I'll get to it.
You would disagree with what I just said based on that.
No, I wouldn't, because the end of the road, the final thought on this whole conundrum, Negan, of course, is taking this on himself. He's saying this very sad to the Croat. There's a sadness to him yelling at the Croat because he's really yelling at himself. We all agree with that. He's really yelling at himself. I made you this way, and I'm remorseful about it, and I'm yelling
he's
at you
super
enough so that you
remorseful.
can leave and live your own life like we talked about just a few seconds ago. I want you to have a life. That's why I did the savior thing.
Ugh, it's like a Harry and the Hendersons moment.
Yes.
all over again.
Exactly, as you explained
He's
to
throwing
me.
a rock.
I don't remember.
Years ago.
Yes,
years
he's
ago.
throwing a rock. That's right.
He's throwing a rock, yelling, "Go on, get out of here.
It was
We don't love
literally-
you anymore."
It was really literally just last year, I think, during House of the Dragon, I think it was.
I don't know. I've talked about it a lot in
So-
my life.
This is what he's doing. He's throwing the rocks so that the Croat can just leave and not be him and find himself, because for the longest time your identity was stolen or was borrowed from what I projected, my image that I projected, because it is an image. It's not even him. Negan is not even him. The Negan that we used to know was not even who Negan really was. He
No, we know
projected
that
an
because
image.
of the bonus episode at the end of season 10,
Now wait.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, here's Negan. There's the episode. Wait, there's more. Because, glad you brought up nature versus nurture, because, well, yes, it's not really him. I projected an image of myself. That's fine. But the Croat killing kids wasn't Negan.
No.
That was nature. That was him tapping into something that was always there. That, often people don't have the opportunity to access that part of themselves. But if it was always there and the environmental conditions make it possible that you can tap into that part of you that was innately there, well, then that was always the Croat, wasn't it? And how is Negan supposed to know? Negan right now is blaming himself for everything that Croat became. He's not supposed to know that. But we, as the omniscient observer, can always see the two sides of it. Well, Negan's... Okay, hold on a second, Negan. You're really taking it on yourself, because there is a love there. Why do you think he brought the Croat in? He heard his story. He wiped off his tears and his blood and gave him a life and a home and treated him
He
like
does
a brother.
like him. There is like a genuine
Love, even.
kinship
Yeah.
with each other. He does want him to be like okay. He didn't plan on killing him. He could have easily had switched it that the Dama would have taken out the Croat, but he knows that the Croat he has companionship with to some degree.
Yeah.
One that can translate to control, because he knows, okay, I was your hero. I was your guy.
True.
But also to some degree, I think he wants the Croat to go and
Especially after
live the
hearing-
life that he wants.
Yeah, especially after hearing what he said he wanted. Yeah, sure. I think there's another side of this too. Like if you think of, we'll read the chat in a second because it was funny.
Okay. Yes, it's very good.
There is another side of this too, and that's it went away. It's fine. Read the chat.
Okay.
I think actually Rob was the one who
says-
got me messed up.
Maggie just
I blame
needs to
you.
find a working MCR CD. My Chemical Romance, for those who don't know, and give it to him to listen to in his room, and he'll be just fine.
Like the
And he
song.
will. No, that's I'm not okay. Dave.
Oh, okay.
Trust me.
Oh, I'm confusing it with the what is that band called? I'm just fine pretending I'm not.
Is that Booba Stank?
No. I'll
No.
be just fine pretending I'm not. But it's all that I've got.
Oh, The Used.
That's the Used. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
But I was whiny enough to so you get it. So you get
It was
it.
too whiny. It was too whiny. I couldn't get it.
Well, that's you have to exaggerate a little bit for.
I feel like a failed elder emo
Millennial?
right now.
Sure.
Anyway. Rob says turning away his wife and kid hurt to watch. Also, I wanted to see them interact, although I'm willing to bet that they will by season's end. I don't know. And
doubt
I
it.
couldn't even, we got such a far away pan shot that I was like, is that even the actress who played Annie?
I would really like to know. I feel like it might be. And honestly, okay, they saved a little money because just so you know how the industry works, a background actor is an actor that doesn't talk. Okay. Here we go. Let me just get Sharon back in to the fold.
Hi.
Hello. You're muted, but that's okay. And I can't pause your uploads for some reason.
Oh.
Oh, now I can. You're still muted. Now you're
I fully
unmuted.
expect the internet to go out again.
Okay.
So just expect it. It's storming, so it's most likely that I'm gonna lose signal again.
Okay. All right. So I was just explaining that. Background actors, they're actors who don't talk and are just there in the background. A feature background actor is an actor that can talk, so they get paid a little bit more. They do a little acting, whatever. It's kind of like Victor, except he had an actual role. He had an actual speaking role. He was a guest star, let's say. So I can see them saving money on this episode. But to Rob's point, I will say, it seems like a waste to bring is it Adina no, it's Medina Senor is her name, the actress. It would seem like a waste to bring her on set if not to have a couple more scenes of her to be in. And I had the same feeling as Rob. I think if that's Negan's wife, Annie Smith, I can see a world in which she comes in and says, "Nuh-uh, you don't tell me to go back to Tennessee after coming all this goddamn way."
Sure.
Excuse me, sir? Excuse me.
Pardon my French.
Excuse the hell of my goddamn French. And then Rachel laughs like this. Anyway, sorry. There we
Okay.
go.
So Rob's last comment is, I think what tickled Dave,
Yes, that's what it was.
and I'm gonna sing it. Now you just a Negan that I used to know.
Somebody. No, I'm supposed to say it. You keep doing.
Sorry.
I used to know. Now you can say it. No, she's given up already. It's fine. What once was a
Every
jovial.
word I say. See, I gotta do the Kimber part. I can't do that. I can't do the Gautier part.
Somebody that I used to know. I used to. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Wow. It's not my style. Well, let's.
Wait a minute, and you didn't have to kill my husband.
You didn't have to kill my bow.
Oh, that's good because it would
Yeah.
rime. That's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
good. Yeah.
Make a spin off on another
Their
show.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Negan, who the hell
Patent
that
pending.
hoe?
Nobody else take that. Copyright.
You're just some Negan that I used to know. Anyway, so, okay, let's go to the decision for Negan to leave Annie behind. Why does he do it? Let's start there. Let's go to Sharon because you had some trouble.
Okay, so I know there was a whole scene before where he had accountability for everything that he'd done, which I thought was really awesome. So I feel like he is also taking accountability for the fact that now he is the leader of this group and he doesn't want them there. A, because it's dangerous for them, and B, because I don't think he wants them to see the kind of person that he's going to be leading this group.
Why doesn't he leave
Even
with
though
her?
I don't think he's going to go back. I don't, because he feels responsible for the group and he wants to be the head of the group again. Maybe, okay, so maybe he feels like this is the second chance to be a leader and maybe he can do it differently this time, especially after the whole accountability conversation he had earlier. But it's still dangerous for Annie and Joshua to be there just because he has a target on his back and they are in that target. You know, they're prime material for hurting him.
I
So
see.
if he sends them back where they're anonymous, nobody knows who they are, they just go back to their life, he can run this group. Maybe he'll do it right this time. Maybe he won't kill somebody out of every group that they come across. You know, maybe he feels like he can do it different, but I think he doesn't feel like he can do anything with them there.
I think you're right.
They will tie his hands. They will stifle what he can do because he'll be worried about them constantly. They'll be like Maggie has Negan to constantly keep her going. You know, they'll be there for him to constantly worry about.
Well, do you remember what we said about Maggie and how she always started these settlements and then she said, F it, we'll just stay on the road, and then she winds up in the bricks, but she's always trying to do this over and over again and it never works. Well, now Negan is starting to. On top of him taking on the burden of responsibility for the Croat, let's just start there, but probably everything else, kind of like what he was saying to Pierce. I've always been thinking this way. Everything that's happened since, that's my fault. And maybe the people were just scared of me. Maybe I was the one that they were that's the reason why everybody fell in line, because I'm the person they're most scared of, not other people, not other groups. Me.
When he said they needed saving from me, I immediately thought of Sherry.
Keep going.
And the women that he had
Oh.
and the sanctuary.
Oh, that's a good response to that. Sure.
While he said he was he was saving them, in reality they needed saving from him. He was the guy that was doing all the damage. So I mean, that was who I thought of immediately when he said that.
It's great. I didn't even think about that.
But it also applies to Annie and Joshua.
So wait, but let's identify the targets too, or the people that are after Negan now, because we have it on two sides. Okay, first it was the Dama, and the Dama had his wife and child hostage. Fine. And so he was forced to be strung along, kind of like Pearlie is right now. With or without you, I'm still going to go after the methane, Bruegel says. Or I'm still going to be, whatever. I'm still going to slaughter all these people, Negan included, and get the methane, and join New Babylon. So I can do it with you or without you. I'd rather it be so you don't get in trouble, you seem like a nice guy, whatever. Negan now, if New Babylon Federation comes in, he's a target, and they may end up being a target because of their association with him just being there, because we've seen New Babylon Federation. They hang people as collaborators, blah, 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 rule of law, Charlie Bird, Narvaez, whatever. On the other side of it, there's the Bruegel assault, which he was informed of by Maggie. There's going to be an ambush. You're going to get slaughtered, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's a blast radius from two sides. So I get why he feels like he has to stay, and I get why he feels like he has to send them away. I think the real part of it is, the question that has to be asked is, why doesn't he go with Annie and Joshua? In light of all this, let's just leave and take our chances on the road. I think the New Babylon Federation might be the factor here, but I think there's something deeper. And I think that's something, and I feel like that's the more obvious point, isn't it? The more obvious point is, because of what I've done, I don't deserve them. Is that maybe, I'm speaking plainly, but is that basically what it is? That's the more obvious point.
I mean, I think that factors into it, but I don't think that's the entire
True.
reason.
And of course the excuse is, I'm beset on both sides by these two factions. That's the excuse. But I think the meat of it is him, like you said, taking account of the sins that can't even be wiped away because they keep wafting in.
It is his fault that the group, the Barassi, no longer have a leader. In both cases,
Yeah, but
he killed
doesn't.
the Dama and he exiled the Croat.
Well, just like Herschel
And
telling
knowing
Maggie, though,
knowing that they're going to be attacked, maybe he feels he's not going to run away this time. He feels responsible for this group of people because he took out their leaders, and now there's this big problem that's coming, and he's the reason that they have nobody to lead them. And a leopard doesn't always 100% change their spots.
Nature
He
versus
probably
nurture.
still has a little bit of the ink, a little bit of feeling that I liked doing this. What does he say? Is it really as good as we remembered? Or is it just what we tell ourselves? So is it
Well-
really as good as he remembered running the sanctuary, or does he just remember it?
Mhm.
Or is really as bad as running the sanctuary, or does he just remember it that bad? So this is a chance for him to
Have a win.
And
do it
we-
again,
We
try
see
again.
Do it
that
right.
light spark up in his eyes again when he's reminiscing about like the crazy things that he did as the leader. We see that when they're on the roof and they're preparing for the New Babylon ship to come in, and I almost said Logan, not Logan, Victor, played by
Logan, who played Victor. Yeah.
And the Croat are on the roof, and the Croat's talking about like, remember when we, you poison all those people and poison their food, and he lights up when he's talking about it. There is still that memory of like the good old days for him. But now that you say that, Charity, I wonder if he didn't force the Croat out to protect him.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
yeah,
then
well, I thought maybe just from the aspect of like go follow your dream. But now that we're talking about war, which I kind of forgot about because like
okay.
who's even coming anymore, dude? Everybody's dead.
saying
But
there's more than one reason to just go and get.
Yeah,
It's like I'm
yeah,
protecting
exactly.
you. Okay.
I'm protecting you from this war, so you don't have to do this. I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Enough. You've done enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can pick up what you're carrying, Sharondy. I mean, let's bring it back to Sharondy, I think, really, because I like the idea of him saying I can make it right, or I can do it better this time around. I can dig that. I can dig it, but where does that leave Annie and Joshua? I don't know. Does he meet up with them eventually? Does he forget about them? I mean, we talked a little bit about absent fathers, and maybe they'd be better off without me. And I can understand that psychology now a little bit better now, having spoken about it, Bridget. Like I can only imagine what your father was thinking about in his mind throughout the entire time. It's like every time I'm there, I'm causing somebody hurt, or I'm getting them in trouble, or I'm
Well, I mean, yeah.
So-
Yeah, I could see, well, I mean, ultimately falling victim to substance abuse, but I could see knowing that you're not a super great person inside and thinking like, even if I'm at my best, is that still good enough for my kid? Is it still
Or-
good
yeah,
enough for this woman who chose
Bill-
to take me on? Like,
Good-
am I
well,
still
Sharon
good
again.
enough for them? I know.
Well, the audio podcast, just let them know.
Oh.
But yeah, that is heartbreaking. That's absolutely heartbreaking. Oh, I mean, even just thinking about that, like even the new Negan is kind of what you're saying is like, even me, I'm a better man, and yet still it's not good enough for them.
Still not enough for them.
Because, and you know what? I'll even say this. Let's just say this. Whatever I've done is lingering. The things that I've done are lingering. How can we get over the old me if the old me keeps wafting in?
Yeah.
And nature versus nurture, it's still me.
Well, and we've seen so much of it in this show.
with
In
the-
this show, when we're looking back on even season 1,
The
that
throat
ding
slitting
ding,
thing. Yeah.
the throat slitting thing where he's like holding him over the balcony or whatever, like all of that crazy classic Negan stuff that we've been seeing. It's like every time we think, okay, he's moved beyond this, there's just a little flash of it.
The employment of that image keeps
Yeah.
it
Do we
keeps
just
being
keep
a
seeing
go-to.
The light in his eye as he's reminiscing, like we just keep seeing it over and over again. The stomping on the rat and then manipulating people to essentially carry out what he would like them to.
Right.
That's all classic old Negan stuff.
Old habits
And
die
so-
hard. Hmm?
And so even though we can see that he's a different person, that he's not that guy anymore.
Or he walks
he's
away
like-
with a little mopey face when he does
he's
it.
a little more he's a little more softened, right? Like you could argue that put in a different situation, would he do that again? Now I don't know, because he took the freaking grater to that guy's face, so God only knows. But not
It's
a
a lemon
zester,
zester.
Dave. Not a zester.
Okay.
Tap it. Tap it.
Grate it.
Uh,
Zest it. Zest it. That's right. Zest it some more. Zest it some more.
I don't know why saying tap it like that it brings me so much joy. It
Oh,
sparks
so
joy.
much. Thank you, Kim Coates.
Yeah, I love it.
No,
I
so
love
even
it.
though
It's
you've
enough,
seen him,
it's enough to make me want to go to the camp,
I s-
Stream City thing. It's
I
just to
see-
meet him.
I see what you're saying, though. I see. Well, and isn't that the devil you know is you also? But the devil you know, you go back to your old habits because they're your comfort zone.
Yeah, better.
That's
better
what
the devil
worked.
you know. Yeah.
Well, and then all the more reason why he kicks out the Croat because you're just borrowing the thing that I worked for me, and you're using it, and I don't want that for you.
Yeah.
I don't want that life for you. You don't. I mean, you could see, and I said this every single episode. I loved the little moment that they had together, the Croat and Negan. I did take a screenshot of the lake that he talked about too.
Oh, can I see it? I
Yeah.
really wanted to see it.
It is amazing. It is akin, and this is a very strong statement. This is akin to the Iguazu Falls that I think I shared with some of you when it came to. Let me just see here. Share. Oh, I have to bring it up first. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So it's let me get the actual lake up. This is so far in. Yeah, Plitvich Lakes, or something like that. So I'm going to show you a couple things actually, but
Okay.
let me just start here, and I will go to. Is Sharon D coming on?
She's back.
Bear with me, Sharon D.
Back in the New York groove. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't see her. I don't see her actually.
Okay, this. I don't know if you could see it. This is Plitvik Lakes.
Stop
Plitvich
it, Dave.
Lakes.
This is AI. This isn't real.
It's real. It's real. It's just what's
This
it called?
does not look real to me.
It's
Oh
a-
my god.
It's a slow shutter aerial shot, basically, essentially.
Looks like AI. This looks like it's out of Lord of the Rings.
No, that's what it looks like. And he's right. I looked at this and I said, this is worth bringing onto the podcast because it literally is. What does he say? It will
He said that
silence you.
would marvel at it. Yeah.
It will silence you all with wonder.
Yeah.
100%. I totally agree. And as you get closer, it's even.
That looks like there's a little roller coaster track going along the outside of the mountain.
like a
right there.
mountain.
It's a hiking
mountain
trail.
Railroad thing.
I wish I got both the screenshots because as you get closer, there's like a little walkway. You can walk across the lakes and stuff like that.
I've never wanted to swim in a lake so badly.
Since we're here, let's go to something. Let's bring up something else. I'm going to bring up a couple things because
Okay.
let's go to the park. One of the things I saw, let me go back to, okay, remember he was mentioning Belvedere Castle?
Yeah.
That's Belvedere Castle in Central Park. It literally looks like a castle. He was like, I was looking all around Belvedere Castle, and then the skating rink, which is here, which this is me and Eliza.
Oh my goodness.
Eliza Jones 86, I think, on Instagram. And
Fun.
we were there, and somebody took a picture of us, and the next photo next to it is me trying to take a selfie, and she fell.
Oh no.
And I wanted to show one more thing, and that was the route that the Bruegel took from the boathouse to the Met, the back of the Met, which I was like, is there a back entrance from the park to the Met? And,
I was wondering that too.
and there is. So the boathouse, the boathouse is down here, the Central Park Boathouse, and then you go all the way through the park. Now, normally you go here, but that seems to be, maybe that's more dangerous, but you go all the way here, and there's a door
there
right
it
here.
is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you notice the Goya exhibit banner that was hanging on the museum?
Sure
Yeah,
did.
right in the back
Because
here.
right, I wonder if that is like something that they slipped in because everybody was speculating on if it had been a exchange between Daryl Dixon, and so they like just
Only you
slipped
had.
this little image in there to be like, no, the painting. No, it was on the internet. I
Oh,
was
was
the
it
one
really?
that came up with that.
Okay.
I thought
Um,
David said the banner was
yeah.
in an earlier episode, was it not?
Well, so the front of the Met, the
I
two banners
I
are
didn't
from
see it
current
either.
exhibits. That's what I
Oh,
mentioned in the
okay.
last episode. But the Goya thing could have been something they just
Right.
put in there.
Okay.
Surely.
Right. Well, that's why I was wondering if they had like slipped that in there
Sure.
to counter all the people that were saying, "Oh, it's because Daryl Dixon met him," and I
They've
noticed. I
never
did notice it.
they've never stopped the fandom from wildly speculating on anything. So I don't know about that.
So when Negan was coming out of his cell, I noticed a name on a plaque up above the door, and I did not have time to read it or stop and see what it was. Did
Patrick
you happen
Kelly.
to see it, Dave?
Yeah, Patrick Kelly. I don't know what the
Okay.
significance of that is, but he had to have been one of the archbishops, I think, of recent memory,
Oh,
I think,
okay.
too. Actually, let me just bring that up then.
Rob says he misses New York
Oh.
City in wintertime,
Interesting.
but not the frigid cold.
The first link that comes up, Knights of Columbus marks 125 years of the patriotic degree, not decree.
Degree?
So let's bring that up, and let me just see Patrick
Kelly.
Kelly. Oh, the problem is the Patrick's in the name. Oh wait, yeah,
He's one of mine.
Supreme Knight Patrick Kelly. Knights of Columbus, Supreme Knight Patrick Kelly. So yeah, he's one of the Knights of Columbus, basically. Unveiling a statue of the McGinney family. Unveil a bronze statue of Blessed Michael McGivney, donated by the Knights of Columbus to St. Patrick's Cathedral, New York, February 22nd, 2025. Interesting. So recent. Wow, 125 years of St. Patrick's Cathedral. Catholic men committed themselves not only to being good men of the faith, but good citizens of their country. Yeah, marking the Knights of Columbus, basically. Interesting. Let me see if there's another reference to Pat. Yeah, Supreme Knight. Okay, let me read the thing. Towards the beginning of the ceremony, Cardinal Dolan, whom I don't know, most people don't know who Cardinal Dolan is, but anyway, he's a very
I'm
well-known
not Catholic,
figure.
so I don't really know, but
Was joined by
and
Supreme
I'm not
Knight
from New York.
Supreme Knight Patrick Kelly, who's still alive, I guess. So this is just recent.
Oh,
history.
really?
Yeah, Patrick Kelly.
Or is this just another Patrick Kelly? Like among the Irish,
I mean,
that's
it's
like
pretty
a fairly
common
common name.
So we'll just leave that be. But you know what? Let me go even harder. Let's get Patrick Kelly tomb. I don't know why. Basilica of St. Patrick's Cathedral. Final resting place encrypted. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's see here. John Kelly. Leader of Tammany Hall and congressman from New York, General Thomas Eckert. Okay, well, I mean, in any case, it's not the same. If you look at the tombs in St. Patrick's Cathedral, the look is completely different anyway, so this is obviously a set. So I don't know if it has any significance, but I do know that there is a Patrick...
It might have been an Easter egg, like if they knew that was happening, what were you just saying, like an induction, basically, was happening? Maybe they were like, oh, we'll put his name up there.
Maybe. But then it is February 2025. I don't know. Who cares? There is a Patrick Kennedy, but that guy's from Silo, and he's still alive, I think, in the show. I don't remember. Yeah, he's still alive as of the show. The end of season 2 of Silo. Sorry for spoilers if you haven't watched Silo, which is a show that we happen to cover, by the way, audience. Let's keep going with this episode. I don't know that there is too much left to talk about. Again, I wrote too many notes.
We drew a parallel a couple of weeks ago of the bat being lightning and Negan being Zeus overthrowing Cronus, whatever. So I was trying to figure out, because he banishes the Croat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up who Zeus banished.
For the second
he
time.
Banished
Hades.
the Titans, led by Cronus, which sounds an awful lot like the Croat. But anyway, he did not banish Hades. Hades chose to go to the underworld.
I think there was an agreement.
So he didn't banish
That's
him.
just
He banished
Hades'
Poseidon.
spin on it, you know? He doesn't want to admit he was banished.
that's Hades' history, you know.
See, history is told by the
He did banish
victors.
Poseidon. Poseidon was banished from Olympus for attempting to usurp Zeus's authority.
Well, if
Hephaestus
the
was
Croat
banished to
dies
the Tartans.
in a crashed boat, then we'll know that it was Poseidon.
And he also banished Prometheus,
Right. God of
who
fire.
is
Bringer of fire.
had binding him to a rock, right, for giving fire to humans. And he bound him to a rock and tormented him with the eagle eating his liver every day, and it started over every
regenerating.
day.
Yep. God of healing too. So there you go. Healing and medicine. Wow. Yes, that's right. Well, then who is the Croat? If not, maybe
So,
Hades? Mm, I don't know. Well, he is like marred by the death of his
um,
family, so there is that idea, I
Is he
suppose.
gonna live underground? Do we find him in a subway in
Well,
next
we will see him in the
episode?
next episode, apparently, with
Because then you
Maggie.
know that he's the ruler of the underworld.
Can we just say, let's go into feelings. Let's go into feelings because there's a lot of talk about from some people. I know TWD Horror Creations on Instagram has talked a big game about this is the Croat. He kills kids, and he showed 2 images of first of all the Herschel looking walker in the first season when they go to Madison Square Garden, whom they thought was Herschel at first. Do you remember when they came in at first? They saw a character in a chair tied to a chair. It looked like Herschel.
Yeah.
And then also obviously the flashback of the girl that they tortured from that group that was a spy, maybe question mark, but probably a spy, but whatever. We were only just introduced to the Croat. And you could say the same thing about Negan had we just only been introduced to him as well. And didn't we, when we were first introduced to him, we hated his guts and everything
Yeah,
he
for
stood for.
sure.
We wanted Rick to win so badly. And we still did. Even when we started hearing more about Negan. We don't know Croat long enough to give him that grace. But there is a part of me, because, okay, obviously all of this is bootstrapped and people are meant to represent other people whom we know. I do, and what did I say? Every single episode about the Croat, why is he being reduced to a punchline? And this episode gave me a little bit of payoff because you did get to see a human side of the Croat that wasn't reduced to a punchline. It is something that we all want. We all want the ability to choose what we want to choose out of life, whether it's the prison of our minds or there is a force that's preventing us, or responsibilities, we'll just go there, that are preventing us from getting the thing that we want out of life. And so I like that. But feelings, do you have similar feelings to me when it comes to the Croat? Do you want to see a redeemed Croat? Or Mile?
I just kind of feel bad for him because he's always been
A tragic character.
the rat. He's
like
always
a
been he's the
follower.
rat. Right, he's always been second, and he doesn't. I don't think he wants to lead. I don't think he knows how to, because he was genuinely distraught without the Dama there to tell him what to do.
That panic attack. Go Jelko.
Yeah, that was
By the
really
way,
good.
very good.
I mean, I feel bad for him, but I tend to feel bad for anybody who feels bad about things.
There's a legal precedent
So
for that,
I mean,
too.
I feel bad for him, but at the same time, he did kill a bunch of kids, so he's not a good guy. Everybody's gray. That's the whole point of these series, and is everybody's gray. Nobody's perfect. Everybody does bad things.
I mean, I won't cry if they end up killing him off. I'll be upset about it and maybe similar to what Rachel and I were feeling about the Dama. Like, okay, she is way more detestable. We arguably don't like her because it's unearned clout, right? At least in the Walking Dead universe terms, like, yeah, you got to kill a bunch of people to get that spot. But I know with him, it's what, his tragic story is an anchor. It does make me feel a little bit more sympathetic. The way in which he lost his family, it sticks with me. And I don't know who I would turn
has
into.
lost their family that way, right? I mean, everybody has lost their family in some gruesome, horrible way, and not everybody turns into a child-killing psychopath. Even Negan, who was like one of the worst people ever, he drew the line at children. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if he was ever faced with a child being a spy or whatever, but I get the feeling like that wouldn't end up in death for that child. Right.
Carl was the spy. You remember he snuck up on that truck?
Yeah, Carl. Yeah.
And he decided not to kill him and instead tried to take him under. Well, and isn't Benjamin Pierce? Sorry, I am jumping ahead, but whereas Victor dies, and he was very upset about that. Joan dies. People of a certain age. I'd added a tag to our last episode, the last episode. Christos, I contend, looks like a very young father, maybe in and around the same age as Victor and Joan, and he dies too. And what was he doing if not the same shtick as Negan, putting on an image to protect his people, and the only way that he knew how is to put on a veneer. He was probably about the same age as Victor and Joan. And now here's Benjamin Pierce, maybe a little younger than those three people I just mentioned. And here's an opportunity to save one more, to save Benjamin Pierce, to save one more person from dying the way Victor and Joan and Negan saw the impalement of Joan's, the sign into Joan's leg. And Negan saw Christos die. So maybe this is like him, just no more, here and no more. This Benjamin Pierce guy I'm going to save and protect. Maybe that's another reason why he stays.
Because if he saves and protects Benjamin Pierce, then Benjamin Pierce is going to write history that will favor Negan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Nicely
true.
done.
Not New Babylon, which how interesting would that be?
Right.
Welcome to the winner's circle, kid. And maybe he has a plan to... Maybe?
I don't know.
Interesting.
He doesn't strike me as the plan type.
Negan?
He strikes me as the
Oh, no, I mean Negan has a
I thought you
plan.
were talking about Benjamin.
No, Negan has a plan.
Negan.
Sorry. I should have qualified. You're right.
Negan always has a plan.
Not that you wanted my opinion, Dave, but you didn't ask me about the Croat. And I just have to say,
No,
I
we're
said it
moving
once,
along.
I'll say it again.
So rather than...
I'm a bad guy now, and I want him to be redeemed.
No, let's go deeper, Bridget. What is it about the Croat that you, aside from, hey, he's the fun guy, hey, and again, like, other than maybe that is enough, but there is something about him.
He's kind of the underdog in this story.
Yeah.
There's something about him that just his life has been not great, and then he wanted to go home and he couldn't even do that. It's like everything he touches like turns to crap. He's
What does
like
that
really
remind us of?
just like us, like just me as a person.
I was gonna say
That's what it reminds me of.
Negan, but okay.
I was like, it reminds me of that.
Ding, ding. Ding,
yeah,
ding.
Rick, ding, ding, ding. So it's like everything he touches just kind of fails, and there's something that's really relatable about that. So
That's kind of what I mean. Yeah, sure.
to see this guy struggling to get over, even like he did a really horrible thing and he immediately regrets it. So maybe some of this, like, well, I'll kill the kids for you, is just like, maybe it's just talk. Maybe it's just this like pomp and circumstance that he like pumps himself up with. And then later he's having like Carol moments to himself where he's counting how many people he's killed and he's like having a mental breakdown about it. But either way, and again, it's just the show. I think it's just the show. I want to see the bad guys succeed. The bad guys are my heroes in this. I hate New Babylon. They're the worst. They're everything I am against as a person.
They are the worst. Oh, I think they're the bad guys anyway.
Well, it's just that concept of like, we'll help you manage everything. No, I want less government. Get out of here. All of you, get out of here. Burn it down.
The thing about colonialism is
feel like with
the draining of
with
natural
the,
resources and the destruction of the indigenous peoples. But the pros are the destruction of the claiming of natural resources and the destruction of the indigenous people
We'll
and the
give you
culture.
nothing, but you'll have these really cool jackets.
Can't wait.
I feel like with the Dama, for the first time, the Croat was actually a winner, right? He was the one that brought Negan to her, and he is the one that did everything for her. He is the one that she calls when she needs help. He's the one that is the snappy dresser, and everything for him.
Well, she says he looks like a bellhop, but yeah.
Oh man. Well, and oh man, also Sharon D freezing up, but also oh man, guys, we didn't see the parallel because we didn't know until now. Because you had said it best, I think, Bridget. You'd said the Croat is just only as good as his purpose. He's not a leader. He needs somebody to point him in the right direction, and then he'll go like a little wind-up toy. But then who is that if not Bruegel talking to Tony in the last episode? I gave you a purpose. It's the same parallel. Bruegel is the Dama, and the Croat is Tony, and that's all he was because he had no identity. His family was his identity. It's whoever was the recent person that gave him life and filled him up with a purpose.
Well, I mean, that's why he doesn't have an actual name.
That's sad.
That's why he builds this like concept of like, I'm the Croat instead of owning I'm Melee and have lost everything and I can't even make it back home.
Well, and then Negan, Melee, two syllables each person.
Well, I think much like Negan had everyone saying like we are Negan, I am Negan. This whole concept of like I'm building this facade, this persona that we're projecting out into the world. This persona. It's the same concept as the trash people.
Oh yeah,
What
the
heapers or whatever.
heapsters, yeah, whatever. Jadis's
Um,
people.
Jadis's people.
Our own language
She
binds and
talks
blinds.
in World Beyond by like she makes them have their own language because it binds them together. This concept of the shared language, the shared lexicon that you use, where you're saying, you know, I am Negan. The Croat does the same thing by naming his group the Barassi and then saying like, so now you're using all of this language, this shared lexicon you didn't have before.
And what is
It's
Buratsi?
binding
Brotherhood.
you.
Yeah, we're all brothers.
It's
It's a
binding you
brotherhood.
together.
And they're not all Croatian, obviously. Obviously. What's with Wayland? Was he has Croatian roots? No,
Maybe. You don't know.
absolutely not.
He did an ancestry and you don't know, Dave.
Yeah, he did an ancestry in the apocalypse. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bridget. Did you think that one through? No.
You just spit in a zombie and then
Excuse me?
it like points in a direction.
Spit
and
in
then
a
that's
zombie.
where your ancestry is.
Oddly sexual.
23 and
23 and E. 23 and eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
there you
sorry. What? I'm sorry. Can I continue with what I was saying before my
Sure,
internet floods
absolutely.
Of
or-
course.
and
I
actually
interjected
dropped out?
something in there which was absolutely
was-
necessary to do. at the
Okay.
time.
So what I was saying was, for the first time, the Croat is like on the up and up, right? He brought Negan in. He's a superstar. He's got the Dama under his thumb, man. She'll, Negan
the
all
other way
that, but
around?
you know what I mean? Like he's on the up and up finally. But the thing that's going to ultimately bring him down is that he brought in the agent of his own destruction.
Oh,
Oh, sure.
Because none
yeah,
of this
yeah,
would have
yeah.
happened had Negan not been there. So what he thought was going to make him the star ended up dropping him. Well, he's banished. It ended up costing him everything.
Well,
Sorry,
and I
Sorry,
think
that was
he's-
where I was going.
No,
No,
I
it's
think he
perfect.
started to see that at the beginning of Negan coming in when Dama started to show more respect to Negan than she was to him. That's why he rats on Negan, is because there's like this jealousy of like, I'm the one who brought you in.
don't
How
forget
dare
where you
you-
came from,
Yeah, it's like
which
this
is where I
concept.
came from.
It's really, yeah, it's very convoluted, honestly.
Which I mean, I get. How many of us totally get that? Like you're the one who thought of the idea. You're the one. And
Oh yeah.
excuse me. Don't I get praise for the thing? I get it. Get it at work all the time.
And you won't. And you won't. You never will.
You just got to take it.
I mean, he's
I'm a
fortunate
bad guy
that
now.
Negan has kind of turned over a new leaf.
I'm a bad.
Otherwise, he would literally be the rat.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Negan hadn't turned over and said, you know what, I don't want to be this person anymore, he wouldn't have stomped the rat. He would have just stomped the Croat into
Yeah.
the pile.
Which, you saying that even makes me feel a little bit more excited about what's to come. We have 2 episodes to go, and it puts me in a space where I'm a little bit more open to seeing what happens here, because it can't be just about, I refuse to see my wife and child and send them off because I'm just reliving my past. It would be a change from the Negan that we know, even this new Negan, I think. I think maybe there's something brewing here. I think there's more to it than just there is a plan here. And like you said, Benjamin Pierce is here to document it. Maybe he's, well, what is Negan if not people are a resource? Some things never change. And so maybe he can glean some knowledge from Benjamin Pierce about history and how we can figure this out too. He's not just some random dude.
I just want to say that our republic generally started in New York, so it would be interesting if the dawn of a new history is happening in New York right now. You follow what I'm saying? Like, you have your
You had me at New York.
Benjamin Pierce to Dick. What's the word I'm looking for? Document everything.
Gotcha.
Um,
Transcribe.
The other thing, so the whole thing has been like, why would anybody want to go back to the old world? And I just have one thing to say to that,
Ice cream.
and that is hygiene and medicine.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
screw
true.
everything else, but medicine and hygiene is very important. And I don't know if you noticed, but people on this show are not particularly hygienic.
No.
Methane's everywhere.
so-
What is
so-
methane if not walker.
I
that
could care.
farts.
I could care less about most things in the old world or whatever, but I would really like to have the medicine and the hygienic capabilities
Well,
that we have
especially
now.
our conversation before we went live. I get it. I get it. And hey, Kayla Durag, how are you? It's good to see you on the
Hi, Kayla.
Facebooks. I hope I said your name right, by the way.
I always thought it was Duro, but
Oh,
that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
maybe
Maybe
I'm.
I'm the problem.
Thank you for saying that. Keep going with the comments.
Rob says Negan doesn't want his wife and son to experience even a sliver of what he used to be. He's ashamed he even looks similar in the way he's dressed and that he's holding a new. Oh, Lucille, I would guess. It
Yeah,
cut off
that's
for
what he
me,
said.
Rob. I'm
That's what
so
he said.
sorry.
It's on the screen.
But I mean, he really. Okay, here's I see him. He's doing the same things, but it's almost like he's playing a role. Like he doesn't really have his heart in it, like he used to. And I mean, I feel like he's old and tired, and he doesn't really want to do this anymore. What he wants is to go settle back down with his wife and son in Tennessee and just chill. You know what? Okay, so I've been listening to this podcast, believe it or not, about American history, and I just got to George Washington and how George Washington did not want to be the president.
Yeah,
He
it's a
did not.
common fact. Yep.
He was done.
Correct.
He wanted to go home to Mount Vernon and hang out and be a planter and live out his life. And he was forced into it because he wanted to protect this thing that he had helped give birth to and create. So
Well, and he also
did
didn't
8
want
years
that.
as the president, and
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say he did not want that role, but he felt like it was his duty to take it because he was partly responsible for it being there. And I kind of feel like maybe that's where Negan is right now. He does not want to do this. He wants to go to Tennessee. He wants to be on a farm with his wife and his son and just live out his life. But he can't because he is now responsible for this group because he broke the leadership of it. He started the revolution, and now he's got to be in charge.
And that's why you've got to tap it.
The painting of Washington crossing the Delaware. It's Negan crossing the Hudson. Yeah. Yeah, that's apt.
As soon as you said George Washington again,
But
it's
they
all I
are
can
not
think of now.
in a cooler.
Yeah, right.
They are
In a
not in a
cooler
cooler.
or a
Or a trash can.
trash can. Right. Exactly.
A park trash can.
Yeah. Yeah. I there's some logic to that. There's a lot of logic to that. I didn't want the role, but it was thrust upon me. And maybe this is common wisdom is like the person who, and there she goes again. and the person, right? Isn't it like a common knowledge, like the person that ought to be president most or whatever leader king is the one who wants at least the most effective president.
Correct.
Let's say that. I don't know if that there's a wisdom to that, but because, you know, the person who wants it the most, there's an expression in Hebrew, diff,
Why?
kavod,
Why
is
do they want it?
why do they exactly, and for what end? At least with Negan, it's like I don't want this. I want to get away, but there's the duty and responsibility to it. And so Sharon says, "Okay, I give up. I got my piece in anyway." She got her insight in, and that's it. That's that.
That many times getting kicked off, I'd be
4
I'd be
times.
throwing stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I'd be flipping tables.
I have an immense amount of respect for her continuing to try because, yeah, she's in the league of patience like me, which I have an immense amount of, apparently. I did want to, no, I'm not going to bring up the pecha and the traditional cooking method and the brodet, the fish stew that the Croat brings up. It's very interesting. There's some cultural pollination in there.
That is cool, but I'm gonna say
I want to go. I want to
I
sleep.
gotta go to bed.
I want to sleep, David.
I gotta go to bed because never mind. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave it because last thing that we see is Ginny collapsing, meeting Negan. Similar scene to what we saw with Maggie in the past, trying to kill Negan, holding the gun up, and it's not working out.
Herschel has done the same thing. It's
Same energy.
yeah, nobody can do it.
Nobody.
Something always
he's just
stops you.
so like the Riz. I think it's
There's
the Riz.
just something about it.
Also, could be an infection. That's could be part
Hands
of it.
down, it's an infection.
So, with that, everybody, first of all, thank you. And also, Kayla, message me on how to properly pronounce your name. Thank you. I hate getting things wrong like that because it's so personal. But hey, if you like what you've heard and you're not taking it too personally, head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawking dead. 5 stars and a not
Bear.
tap it. What?
A bear.
And a bear is all we need to know that you love us. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what you think we might have missed. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we missed some things. That's fine. That's fine. But hey, mansplain it to us after every single episode. It's what we crave is your input. And it helps boost this podcast visibility if you think we deserve it. And even if you don't, say mean things. And, let's
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we care? Also,
Go ahead. Comment it. Comment it right now. I dare you.
Yeah, on our YouTube
Dare
channel
you.
or on our Spotify, which I finally got to. It was only one comment. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind it. Mostly from Neo's the One, by the way, who is now
Love that
changed his mind to unedited episodes. Apparently.
Love that guy.
Yeah,
I stand by my love.
that's right. Me too. And so, yes, comment on our YouTube videos, like our YouTube videos. Even if you're on Facebook, like the video. That's great, the live stream or after the fact. It's all helpful and it doesn't cost a thing. But you could have tipped us the entire time. There's a QR code on the screen if you're watching from your TV, or you can head on over to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead/tip. And a little GIF pops up on the screen with an electronic voice saying, hey, you're great and awesome. Hey, I love that. And when you do, you'll get 30 days of access to our unedited episode recordings, as well as my pre-squawk insights, which I still haven't posted yet, which is terrible, David. Terrible, David. What are you doing? David.
Tap
what are you
it.
doing? Tap it.
Just
Tap
tap
those.
it in there.
What?
Your notes. Just tap
Oh, my
it
notes.
in.
Oh, yeah, not the...
I didn't.
Anyway. Well, you made a mistake. We all make mistakes, right? You should be faulted for it. And in any case,
in fear.
like I said, tip us. Just the tip. And it's all we need to know you love us even more than just your comments and reviews. Take your support further. Join a membership tier for as little as $4 a month. When you do, you'll get even more access to our forever access to our Discord, which you get when you tip us as well. More channels. If you happen to join the Whisperers, Grade M, or Survivors tier, you will get a free classic t-shirt upon signing up. The Survivors and Grade M tier affords you the ability to join us on these podcast episodes, lending us your insights alongside us so we can yell at you in real time for being wrong. Or you can yell at me for being wrong and you'll have earned it. If you happen to join the Grade M tier, the Greatest Dish tier, you will have access to our core channel where we do all the behind-the-scenes things, which means you'll be a junior producer. You weigh in, and you have earned the right to weigh in on this podcast, and we have the right to say, well, no, we probably won't say no to you. How can we say no to you? You're a Greatest Dish tier person. That's great. I love that for us. I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, Shandy, Blazy Gardner,
And Bridget. You can find me at ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER.
Say what Rob says.
Rob says, you guys are the best as always. Have a great night. See you next week. Bye, Rob, baby.
Robbie, baby.
Also, bye, Kayla. Thanks for being here. Bye, Tess. You're gone, but we loved you.
Yeah, we still do, even though you're not here.
Oh, yeah, I do actively still.
Yeah. I love you when you're gone. I miss you when you're not here, actually.
I don't. When you're gone,
She
I
hates
don't love you at all.
But when you're here, she magically just, I'm
Yeah,
in love with you.
turns it
It's a
around.
thing. It's a real thing. It's like, it's like you're neglecting me, Tess. That's what she thinks. And I'm always
I have
loving you.
abandonment issues.
She does. It's terrible.
It's true.
I just want to say one more thing because I think, along with the other things that you should be doing with the rating and the sharing and the liking and the commenting and the reviewing and all that stuff, and maybe even the tipping and maybe even joining the membership tier, you ought to subscribe to Bridget's channel, Punky Brewster's channel. That's youtube.com/@PunkyBrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. Because, listen, folks, she's trying to do some stuff here. It's not even about me. It's about we. And I think it would be very helpful. Hey, listen, I know you don't, some of you, I know who you are. You don't like YouTube. That's fine. You don't like you. That's fine. But you have an account. Subscribe to her account. Boost up her numbers. I would really love that for us and for you and for Bridget because it helps her out. So take the time out. Subscribe to you don't have to enable notifications. Don't be, I know you don't like YouTube.
Don't be extra.
Some of you.
It's okay.
Yeah. But if you happen to, enable all notifications so you don't miss any of her live streams, which happen to be every single Friday so far.
Every Friday. Yeah, every Friday.
Spend
So if
your
you're
night with
interested
Bridget.
in a live stream, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently, I'm doing something. We're trying something new. It's called the Limited Series Lounge. It's me and Takira, who is Connie Dixon for life, is how I always say it.
LYFE.
Um,
The number
um,
4. LYFE.
yeah, that's why I do the 4 like this,
For
like
the
I'm
audio
throwing up
podcast.
signs.
Yeah, throwing gang
Um,
signs with 4
yeah,
fingers.
so we are currently doing something called the Limited Series Lounge, which is we're kind of playing with the idea, but right now we're covering a show that was on BBC back in like 2016 called 13. It's about a girl who it's a crime drama, so it's a scripted drama, but it's about a girl who was kidnapped at age 13 and has been held for 13 years. And it starts, oh, thank you, Rob. It starts with her being like getting out. And so it's all about how does that affect her family? Like the fact that she's been gone and things have happened to her family since she's been gone. And you're also trying to find out what happened because you don't know. And they haven't caught the guy who did it either. So we're heading into the 3rd episode this week, and it's a really interesting show, and I'm excited about it. It's only 5 episodes though, so then after that we're moving on to other things because the Limited Series Lounge is going to be about limited series shows only.
I see.
So
That's what you're
fully
calling the series.
encapsulated. Yeah. Fully encapsulated shows that wrap up after one season.
Or like a
So-
couple of episodes. Limited series releases.
Kind of just like going through that. We were looking for something that was similar to Found because that was what we were covering, and
That
one
crossover
of-
with the
one
cancellation.
of the viewers suggested it, which is like great. It was such a great suggestion. I'm very appreciative of it.
And I will say, this series that you're covering, 13, sounds a lot like a mini series, which based on real events called I Know My First Name is Steven. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh my God. It's
Do
from.
I need to cover that?
You might wanna. It's
Okay.
It's a real story, and they had real footage from the actual Steven. And I will say,
Okay.
it's heart-rendering. It's really brutal. I remember
We've-
watching this as a kid.
Okay, this is like I'm gonna give you guys like a little sneak peek. This is I not announced this on my own channel. I don't know that this is for sure gonna happen, but this is something we've been talking about. Been talking about maybe interspersing in between with these scripted like dramas, true crime series because they tend to be one season long. It like tells the encapsulated story and then it's over. And and one of them that I really wanted to talk about because Takira has not seen it and knows nothing about it is The Jinx.
Oh, that's on Netflix, was it?
I believe so because I have to get Netflix anyway for what we're gonna end up doing. But
Oh my
maybe.
God, I'm like Aladdin. You're Prince Jasmine. I can show you the world, Bridget. Welcome to Netflix, where there's all this cool ass.
Well, I have to go back to it anyway because Stranger Things is coming back. I have to go back to it eventually. But anyway, so that's just a little sneak peek. We might be doing true crime stuff too, which is it's definitely my jam. Don't know if it's anybody else's, but I really enjoy it. And so I'm really looking forward to doing this, and I'm working on some other things. And I'm gonna go back to some things that I really don't want to go back to.
Like cancellation devastation.
Yes, but also Clementine.
Oh, we've been putting
I
that
don't
one
wanna
off
go
for
back to it.
far too long.
I've been putting it off for like 2 years, dude. I've been putting it off for so long, but I'm gonna go back to it. I own both books. I hate them both, but it's time.
It's time.
It's
And
time.
so increase the chance of Bridget finally getting to everything that she's wanted to by motivating her by, like Rob said and did, subscribing to her YouTube channel, enabling all
you, Rob.
notifications so that you too can join Bridget on this fun live ride. It's all lives usually, except for the Clementine
Lives
things.
once a week. Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on some more actual videos. I hate editing, so that's why I don't do it. But my editing is quite fun.
It
if
is.
You do sit through.
It
It's
is.
quite fun.
So encourage her. Do the things. With that, everybody, we'll see you in the next one, which hopefully might also be live, but there's part of me that kind of wants to go back to the studio.
Oh.
Just to kind of get it out of the way. I don't know. But you know what? If you like these live videos, just say it in the comments and we will be sure to continue doing this, finishing out the series live for the final 2. We'll do it for you. Just, you gotta incentivize, just like subscribing to Bridget's channel. You gotta incentivize. You gotta tell us why you beg for it. Beg for it. Scream for it. Kick us in the balls. Tell us what's what. Tap it. Tap it.
Tap it. Tap that subscribe button. Tap it.
Tap that subscribe and enable. Tap those notification bells.
Tap that like button. Tap
Ding,
it.
ding. Ding, ding, mother. Hey, we'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Millennial pause. Millennial pause.
Awkward.